Memphis.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? I am Dark Riddler. Welcome to another Coffee and Conversation. I have here the Screamer herself, TayzerGG. Hey,
What up? What up?
t-
Hi,
tell,
guys.
tell us a little bit about yourself, Tayzar, and all that good jazz.
Well, I am a very simple person, believe it or not. I am simply someone who enjoys the hobby of being on the internet. You can find me everywhere at TayzerGG. I made all my socials that. So when I do appear online like I am today, I'm easy to find. And I am someone who used to be so online that as we were just talking, I learned how to touch grass a little bit more often. So with that being said, I honestly am simply a commentator, not only on live, but it seems to be as an online internet troll. So that's pretty much all about me, besides I'm being a vape shop clerk, because I don't know, I went to the real world because internet just didn't pay me enough or something. I don't know. But that's where we ended up,
The,
and that's who I am.
the internet,
Getting into some crazy conversations for the shock value.
the internet didn't pay you enough.
They didn't, okay? Twitter's not a real place. It does not pay the bills. You know, there's some things we got to do in life, and I'd rather troll in my free time and get paid for my good hard work that took a little bit more effort.
You're not wrong.
So,
You're not. You're not. And
so if you
that,
can't tell, it's about to get a little spicy.
yeah, because she has a lot she wants to say, especially
Oh, quite a bit.
regarding. We can just start with Twitter. Just
We want to start with Twitter.
I
Wow.
left. I left and came back.
You left and came back. Well, yeah, I noticed because you did get a little quiet. And funny that you should say that because, I was just saying, the internet didn't pay me enough to be on there and be a part of the funny, silly games and these false activism things, and let me tell you, yes, I did stream. I enjoyed streaming video games, hanging out with people, getting a community of friends, even if that community was as small as 10 strong. That still meant a lot to me because I've always been the person that in life, my circles have always been small. So to share my love of gaming and people who wanted to kind of support me, like the fact that sort of a small background about me is the fact that most of my setup that I even have, including my PC, was gifted to me from friends and people within the community of live streaming. So with that being said, I mean, there is a bit of love lost when it comes to social media and being a part of online content creation. And I now use online content creation as the main word. Mainly because, let's be honest, if you are working socials plus live streaming plus making edited videos, you're not just a live streamer, you're not just a streamer. Give yourself some credit. You're an online content creator. And with that being said, that comes with its adversities. And one of those things being is there every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Jill and Jane can go to Walmart and like we were just talking. I mean, I think I have some decent quality as far as mics, my cameras and stuff like that. I would have people who are blown away that I didn't use XLR setups. My setups have all cost under 500. My full setup pretty much costs under $500, and I've been able to kind of produce some stuff that people have been like, "What the fuck? You only have this?" And that's the fun part of it is when you learn to like something, and that's why online content creation is so good for some people. Is it's an amazing outlet that some people, just like an artist who writes music or something else, they can create something that the world wants to pay for and finds value in. But what other people don't understand is those values and what people see as those values when it comes comes to an art, which is what online content creation is, unless you're running a certain business, such as a news organization. Because I don't know if you've noticed the upkick of a lot of people becoming their own news outlets, because we've noticed mainstream media has really just become so politicized. It depends on which PAC paid them what money to run what agenda at this point. I mean, let's be honest, for those of us who are old enough to remember watching one side or another of the news, whether it was CNN or Fox News, I remember being able to watch both, and generally the stories were just about the same. You'd have a few tweaks. Now it's insane how black and white different each story is. And it blows my mind. So, I mean, I give it to people. Please come out here. I want the real journalists on the ground. We need real talk. And that's the type of person I am, is I've always wanted the real conversations. I don't care what side of the aisle people are on. I don't care what side of walk of life you come from. We all are here living in our own on our own journeys. But at the end of the day, we're all doing it. You know what I mean? You're allowed to be selfish for what you got to do for your journey, but we always got to understand along our journey, helping another journeyman may help along in ours. So I say all that to say, the online content world and in Twitter, first of all, just like Dave Chappelle said, start to not give a fuck, because that place ain't real. It ain't real. Think about it. And because I don't think in any world, if I were to go out to my local community and say what I said on Twitter, I mean, dear Lord, what was the thing that I said so harshly that I just don't believe we should be boycotting a game online, making a hateful website and going after people for doing what they do in their free time.
Yeah.
This is what Twitter does. I normally I am just talking to about a handful of people, give or take about 30, 40, 50 people, and I am following so many people. I have like almost 600 followers, but only like 10% of that interacts with me. Now, Twitter algorithms, if people want to know the secret to it, and if you're wondering why people like me, who doesn't have a huge following but seems to get huge upticks and profile views every now and then, is I go and I have conversations.
Yeah.
I go and have conversations, and I want to. Now, some people are afraid to do that. I'm okay. Congratulations to people who have figured out the algorithm to get a lot of activity and a lot of feedback in your feed simply from posting up a few clips here and there. I mean, that is impressive. I really do mean it. I mean, there is a way to it, because I know I've seen some of these and I'm like, wow, that's really smart. I wouldn't have even thought to do it like that.
Yeah.
But, and that's far and few between. But again, I think if we notice, why I say you got to be very careful of calling it a job, going into online content creation, and people really hate this. And this is something else. The reason why I mention all this, I'm going to backtrack and say the reason why I mention all this is because, one, the news website, they at least called me a gamer, that quoted my tweet to the Hogwarts, the game, that witch game or whatever.com, that was going around to find out who had streamed it on Twitch. It kind of just, it blew my mind how much something blew up by just calling out, simply by having the conversation. Hey, it's very interesting that you spent, cool, it could have been 10 minutes, but you could have spent 10 minutes knocking on a door and asking if someone would like to donate to the local charity around for a Trevor. I mean, and I don't even believe in the Trevor Project, but if you believe in the Trevor Project, you know what I mean? I believe, yeah, to the young people, but when you start trying to groom kids into what they should and shouldn't be as far as gender wise, when relationships are very complex and no one truly has a real relationship until their adulthood. Let's be honest, we may date when we're teenagers, but do we truly understand that? Do we truly understand? Like, I really feel like nobody goes back to their teenage selves and says, hey, remember when I thought like this? Why did I think that I was an adult? So there's some age appropriate things that try to I don't know. I didn't know who I was. And to kind of follow back into the Twitter space, I got attacked just for simply saying I'm a biological female, and it blows my mind that the men who have wanted to dress up as me in such increasing numbers, because listen, I do believe in gender dysphoria, but scientifically, and the data reads that you're looking at a very small percentage of the human population that's going to experience gender dysphoria. We're talking less than 1%. And it's insane that we're at such a high level and we can't even say, hey, we're gonna boycott a wizard game because we can't name it, because J.K. Rowling made the world and she doesn't like the fact of men having their penises out in a public shower or dressing room, like at a local YMCA for us in America or at a gym. I mean, I feel like some people really forget to think back, especially if you're a biological female.
Mm-hmm.
I would have freaked the fuck out. And I'm sorry. I know this is going on YouTube, so please bleep this out when I say those words, because I know how the terms have gotten on there. But I'm having to be so real because it bothers me that people are subjecting young girls under the age of 18 and subjecting other women who may have went through trauma, may have went through men hurting them, and we're even talking the big R word, and a man shows up in their female space, and you're supposed to expect these women to not be afraid. That freaks me out, that we've moved to this point of society, that it's okay to have a man doing the helicopter in the women's restroom, and it's no longer public indecency. It's no longer pedophilia. It's no longer endangerment. And that really gets me. And to be slammed as a biological woman on Twitter when I'm concerned about my spaces, when I'm concerned about the little girls after me in this world that are literally, and I'm a tomboy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a tomboy. I am someone who grew up with two brothers. I never had a sister. I had to learn my femininity. I had to learn. I wanted to dress up like my brothers. I liked the baggy clothes better. They felt easier to move around in when I wanted to go outside and play with them and climb trees. It wasn't as easy with a dress on. I didn't like that. But damn, by the time I was 18 and I got to college, I got into a sorority. I learned how to have girlfriends. I learned how to love myself, how my hair parts the way it should part, the way that it should part to fit my face, the way that to do my makeup that makes me feel more feminine. These are things that women go through in our lifetimes, that there are similarities to guys, and there's also role models in our lives. Like, for example, my father is my biggest role model. And I could tell you, just because maybe I was like 4 years old and playing pretend, and when me and my little brother were playing house or something as innocent children, and maybe he was the mom and I was the dad, didn't mean that we were confused. It was pretend of people that we admired in our lives.
Yeah.
So me speaking out on Twitter and getting out here, it just kind of makes me laugh. And then to also say, yes, I will always kind of, because I know I've pissed a few people off saying when people have come after me, because that's what I said, I wanted to describe who I am. I'm no longer an online content creator, but the amount of people who came at me just because I wanted to play a game, assuming that I was still a streamer, makes me laugh. And just to me shows even more how big of a internet activism push all of this is. Because guys, I've worked charity hours. I've been on the ground, and I didn't just scream it from behind my keyboard on Twitter. I was there. I was working with those autistic children.
Oh.
I was working with my community. You know what I mean? So It's very interesting when it's like, you have these people yelling into this crazy space that really only exists to only like 3% of the world who actually uses Twitter, that, you know what I mean? And Elon's even figured that out.
Yeah. So
It's not real.
for the record, you don't stream anymore.
As of currently, no. With I am working roughly about 40 to 50 hours a week at this moment. And do I want to return? Streaming may not be the go-to when I come back. I am looking more and more into doing commentary like this and recording, and going to YouTube. And it's going to be a hobby. I'm not going to be a career. I'm not going to be a quartering, the quartering. I'm not going to be a Sydney Watson, a Tim Cast, all of these awesome people. They're great at what they do. I just kind of want to be that one voice that isn't, I guess, that celebrity that's like, hey, regular Americans still exist and we still like our country
Yeah.
and we can still have really cool conversations without making it a huge political debate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want I really don't blame you like at
I
all.
mean, have you seen what's going on? The influx of creators that are out there and the trash that goes on. I mean, let's be honest. This
Mhm.
whole Twitter situation with Hogwarts, it was people needing to get relevant again because the concurrent viewership has been going down for everybody. And they've had spikes, they've had lows, but if you've noticed anybody between platform falling off as far as live streaming platforms, we're talking Mixer, after they closed down and a lot of these people moved to Twitch, and even those who were still already on Twitch, they thought they could get some of these Mixer people on board who were partners over there that were bringing a lot. And they did. Some of them got to meld, but they still fell into the big Twitch hole of what Twitch is.
Yeah.
You're going to have places where you make it. You're going to have places where you're not. There's going to be creativity here, creativity there. Sometimes it's just literally a strike of luck that you happen to catch the eye of someone with a large number going to hit a raid.
Mm.
Sometimes it comes down as lucky as that. And if you're so good that you're able to retain that viewership even after the raid, because, the culture is, and I think we can all be honest, I'm just going to be real because I haven't been able to talk about it in a real space for a while, is there's a lot of people still trying to do that shit, not getting paid enough money, and you're still bitching. And let me tell you what I did and why I'm able to laugh and talk my shit. I got tired. I was at a financial point where I was like, look, guys, I can't beg y'all for money. Y'all are doing y'all's own jobs. Y'all are working hard. I know I'm mentally working hard on trying to do this content, whatever, trying to
Mhm.
figure out the atmosphere, trying to get what gets those clicks, what puts me out there. And if I'm not going to be and let's be real, if I'm not going to be a female who does either sex work or just is that that magazine-esque body and beauty standard, and that's just true. There's nothing against those women. We're all different and unique and great in our own ways, but I think we can all realize that we're all human,
Yeah.
and people have got to get over the simple fact that first impressions are a thing. As much as we hate them, I had to learn that a long time ago, is if no matter what it is, people are always going to look at the surface first and make a first judgment, which is why it takes a good personality to make that more memorable than maybe something that they may not have liked. Because maybe you might have had a bad hair day that day and
Mhm.
your hair just didn't really flatter your look for the day. Or maybe you chose the wrong color outfit, tried to be overly confident, and you didn't notice. And some people see that. We do. And I think it's insane for somebody to sit there and tell me that walking through public, they've never looked at someone and been like, they probably shouldn't have been wearing that day. You know what I mean? We're human.
Yeah.
We have first impressions. There's a reason. And no, we're not too far away from animals. Animals flatter each other. I mean, a peacock has to have beautiful tail feathers to get a mate. You know, attractiveness is definitely a fundamental. And that's, again, scientifically proven. Nothing I'm saying is outrageous, I hope. And if anybody feels otherwise, please leave a comment down below. Let us know. Let me know. And that's something about me, guys, is I'm someone who is always seeking knowledge. I mentioned earlier, I used to read and cross-reference between CNN and Fox News when I was getting national news. I still do that. Even though I think some of them have gone down some really weird rabbit holes because of the people that are owning them now and the agendas they're going through. But for some news, for some of them journalists that do work for them, who do get down and dirty and try to find what's going on, I do try to put two and two together and try to find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that comes with everything in life for me. And it's just weird that for some reason we're not allowed to critically think anymore.
No, you really not. That's really just horrible. Cause I feel like it's pretty much pick a side or you're just not liked. And I'm trying to get this understanding. Why is it not okay to just sit there and say I don't agree with either side on several topics? And that
That's totally fine. And I respect the hell out of someone who seriously is like, either I don't know much enough to talk about it. Here's what I know, and I'll be like, hey, okay, here's a little bit. Go, and I always tell people, go back and check me. Why is that such a hard thing? I just don't understand why we walk around. And I told somebody like this, man, I don't understand why we walk around with these motherfuckers and we don't use them besides for social media. Like, if I have a question when someone's having a conversation around me, even if I'm in public, and they start saying words I don't understand, bitch, I'm Googling. I want to know, even if I just want to be a nosy bitch. I want to know. Like, there's something about knowledge that is really fucking cool, and it also stops me from being a dumb bitch. I don't know of any other way to say it because, like, there was just so many times on Twitter where it was like, and I didn't respond to a lot. And by the way, big advice to anybody: you don't have to reply. For the love of God, you really don't, unless you're just really in the mood to dunk on people. And guys, I was at work, I think it was on a Tuesday, where I have my slowest work day, where I literally, on those days, I get paid to Netflix and chill, so I got on my phone to troll and chill. And also make a valid point that if you're going to be an activist, be a true activist, not just someone who screams on Twitter, where again only like 5% of Americans use it.
we see they don't want to hear that though.
No.
That
Why would you hear that? Because like they get 50, 100, 1,000 likes on something, on a tweet.
There you go.
That's not real people.
There you
Have you
go.
seen how many bot accounts with less than 15 followers were commenting on my looks? I know these people because my follower count went down. I know those folks followed me, got on their alt account, and had something to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People that like had been following me for a while, and that's fine. Because some people are all like, "Oh, you've really shown your true colors." No, I've been me. I stay real, baby. I just keep the energy. That's one thing people don't really understand, and that's why I kind of also hated the content world. Is like I don't switch it up. I will say, yeah, I was wrong about that. And I actually did some more research, and yeah, you were right. So I'm going to say no, I was wrong on that. And after doing the research, I found this is where I was wrong. I sort of was here, but maybe and even if I wasn't, I'll be like, hey, yeah, I mean, I'm an accountable person.
Yeah.
Quite literally. I mean, that's literally, I'm circling around to the definition of saying I'm just a fucking accountable person. And it's so weird that all I'm asking for other people is just be a little bit more accountable. Quit going off of tweets because, again, back to Twitter, guys. I still tell me again, please link, comment below if you can find the damn tweet where J.K. Rowling said that everything she gets from Hogwarts Legacy specifically is going to this, that, or the other. Otherwise, shut the F up because you aren't going to Universal. You're not going to Legos. You're not going to you're not going to your local Walmart to boycott any of it. You're not. So don't, because they sell it at your local Walmart too. So if you want to sit there, because I saw somebody complain, oh well, Legos is actually such and such, not in California. I don't care. That's not the point. Again, you're doing your internet activism. What we're saying is, those of us who actually do the real work, who have done charity work, we don't bitch about it and yell online. Hell, real charity work, most of the time, it's you just have a website up. You don't include a lot of pictures. You do local newspaper networks.
Yeah.
The only big charities, I mean, that's become big is maybe online, and the only people that have really, I, I really shouldn't say that because all charity work means something. I think it's silly that I find that some of the charity work that some people are riding their high horses on, they could have doubled on the ground in their local communities
Yeah.
versus screaming it at the top of their lungs online, where you're in a saturated area where everybody who got sent home because our government made silly decisions and said that we couldn't go to work, put a lot of people at home and put them in a small echo chamber of other silly minded people because they got the likes. So
Yeah.
that must be the way.
Let me ask you this. What's apparently so bad about the Trevor Project?
The Trevor Project, as far as what I know and what I read, when they said young people, I want a definition of what they mean of young people. I haven't done a whole lot of research into the Trevor Project. To be very honest, I'm going to be blatantly honest. I don't I don't really support anything when it comes to the transgender movement in a lot of ways, and I know that's going to say, "Oh, okay, so you are transphobic." No, I just I fundamentally believe, just in my single opinion,
Hmm.
is that nobody is born in the wrong body. And those, again, like I said, and those that have that very small percentage, because that's just like saying everybody should be born with a 1,000 IQ, and not everybody is. We all have variations. But
Yeah.
I'm saying is, there's no way I can support something that is going to push along saying that just because you may like the color of pink or blue and you're a specific gender that apparently a doctor seemed to assign you at birth was wrong. I don't agree to that. I don't agree to affirming care of a lot of that. So, with that being said, I always say, as of now, I don't support the Trevor Project and a lot of these projects, mainly because of not having enough information about them, and also due to my views of how much transgenderism is being pushed out to the general public, and it's harming a lot of kids. Even if we're just pushing it on adults, children look to adults and role models. And when we're talking about adults that need to get some mental help and not just be told they need to change their gender, I get very worried about our society. So simply said, without enough information, I can't support it.
No,
And
that's
until I
fair.
do seek out that information, um, I don't really have much to say besides just my fundamental beliefs.
Yeah. No, and that's actually fair. That's actually fair. And see, my thing is like this is, and is as you said, you you want the conversation, whether you be right or they think you're wrong. And see,
Mm-hmm.
all these attacks and stuff like that, it's like I was telling Hex, who was actually Snow White's husband. I told they know who to do that kind of stuff to. It's hacking. Dude made a whole, I guess that was, what was that, a website or an app?
Yeah,
Okay.
the website.
Well, that, and I'm like, y'all, it's not that serious. Like, do they realize that you would probably do more if you actually went to the Lego place, if you actually went to Universal Studio place. Like,
They're not going to physical locations because you were talking about people who are too afraid to even show up to a minimum wage job because of social anxiety. We're talking about people that would rather scream at the top of their lungs on Twitter because they can't go out into the public and do real activism, be there in person. Because what's very interesting is these issues seem to only appear online.
Yeah.
Because it's been funny. I've done my own social project, and I've asked people when I go to work at my vape shops, and typically people like to say a lot of vapors are gamers or gamers are vapors. Well,
Hmm.
funny enough, a lot of these subjects that we're talking about on Twitter, people have zero clue about in the real world outside of twitter.com.
That is true. That is very, very true.
I
Uh,
mean,
if my
you
coworkers didn't, if I didn't tell them, they wouldn't have known I had a YouTube.
would they have known about this J.K. Rowling stuff?
I think only one person actually knew about it. And that's because they literally bought Hogwarts for him and his wife. That's the only reason why he even knew about it.
Yep.
But
These issues are only online. And it's very funny because I don't see these crazy TikTokers, these crazy people going for these activist movements out in my local community. When I've traveled, I very rarely see these people. And when you do see them, I promise you, if you were to stop them on the road and ask them, I bet you they have a TikTok or some type of social media they're really proud of. But you ask them what's their greatest achievement as far as outside of the internet. Have they started a business? Have they got themselves financially out of debt? Have they done any type of charity work? Have they looked at political offices in their local towns? And they're probably going to tell you no. I mean, my state of Missouri passed recreational marijuana. As a cannabis user, that's great for me. But with stipulations, we had to vote on this, mind you, during the midterms.
yeah,
And it really did specify on the ballot that there was going to be a lotto system, which means just because we said yes doesn't mean that every mom and pop can open a cannabis shop.
yeah,
So it's been very funny and how much low information people are. And even in real life, that you were talking about people can't even open their phone to Google to see that a vape shop isn't going to sell cannabis.
and there's
So
plenty of proof to prove what you're saying. Like plenty of it. Dead serious.
and that's what I'm saying. And that's what I kind of want to be is this voice. And that's why I'm kind of enjoying that you're kind of doing this. And I appreciate you giving me somewhere to speak. And I hope your audience listens, shares, and gets this through. I mean, guys, we're not alone.
Nah.
Get off the internet a little bit. Go to work. I know working from home can be great, but I'm telling you, in some situations, working from home can be great. I have a perfect one example. My mother, who's taking care of my niece, because of our own family issues, and she's also taking care of a lady who has no family who's recently had a stroke. And
Mm,
she's still working. She's not at retirement age, and she still has to work full time to get her retirement and to still be okay by the time she's done and she can finally rest.
yeah,
But guess what? She finally was able to finally get one of her managers and bosses, supervisors or whatever. She finally got management that allowed her to work from home. And so much that she's so far out in the country, they were actually able to hook up their own internet out there through the company. Now that says a lot,
yeah,
and she's been with the company for a very long time. Now this woman, what she does a lot of people's jobs and a lot at once. It has not stopped her productivity level. This is a woman who is constantly getting A's across the board when it comes to work reviews.
yeah.
So she's been able to balance all that, but my mother's tired. And I can tell you, she's tired. And if she had to go into work where she had to drive into Atlanta because they live in Georgia and had to take that extra hour and a half drive through traffic,
Yeah.
she wouldn't be able to take care of my niece and this woman that has meant the world to her in her life. You know, working from home I feel like is great for special cases, but at this point in time, I want to challenge everyone who watches this video. I want you to start looking and telling me how many people you can have more than a conversation about the weather, about the last Super Bowl win. Can you have a regular conversation with somebody? Can they look you in the eye? Or are they looking at the ground like they have signs of autism? And
That's
I don't mean that to be rude to those with autism. I really mean it's scary how much people have deprived themselves of social interaction that we are seeing. Hell, TikTok brain, look that up, guys. We're seeing people, teenagers, 20-year-olds, and even early 30-year-olds that are showing signs of someone that has dementia with their attention spans, with their memories. These things are taking toll. There's a reason why we are meant to be out into the world and work and not just be at home working. Again, it's great in certain situations, but we are social beings. We are not supposed to be closed up in a room. I don't know why everybody threw themselves in their houses and locked themselves up and willingly put themselves into a jail cell. It blows my mind.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I actually the only answer I have, I would say, is fear. That would be my general answer because I do feel like a lot of people don't do certain things and all of that just pure out of fear. It even goes down to just talking to someone else or having a conversation. It's all due to fear. Some maybe might be like, okay, well, I just don't know exactly how to put what I'm thinking into words, and that's cool. It happens.
Right?
But I do feel like a lot of stuff is governed through fear at the like focal point of time.
And fear is a good emotion and a good, well, not exactly an emotion, but fear is a good thing in its own way, kind of like anxiety. A lot of us have started taking a lot of medications for anxiety. I'm on a low dosage, so I'm not talking to someone. I'm not trying to be the pot calling the kettle black. But, a lot of our population is now on SSRIs, man. Think of how many more people got prescribed SSRIs, antidepressants, anti anxiety medicine during the pandemic because people started having anxiety about being closed in. And now people are just so comfortable with it um, because they got medicated up. And I'll be honest, as someone that's on an SSRI, I actually felt worse being indoors. And I think that's what fed into it. I mean, I was sort of streaming more when I was depressed. I was doing a lot of this online, just wanted to crawl in there and just like everybody else did. But what really got me was like it went from like everybody in the outside world went from like I want in my depression I went from like kind of honing into saying, this is what a normal mood stabilization should be at for a normal person, quote unquote, I guess.
Yeah.
But like people who obviously have a big diagnosis with depression or just simply just don't have it. I mean, what do you find as happiness? Now for me, I when I spoke to a doctor about it, it was the fact that like I knew I just felt I focused way too much on my sadness. And does an SSR help that a lot? Yes, but also other things have helped me, which did better than just being purely on the medicine. It was getting out. I mean, having a job, walking around, getting moving, and I'm not saying that I'm heavily active because I'm not. Because like I said, I can literally sit down and watch Netflix at work,
Yeah.
but this interaction honestly has done a lot for my brain dopamine than I think that Twitter or anything else ever had. And we're talking about hell. I officially, and do you know how many like quote unquote content creators would love to say that they got quote tweeted on a news website like I did? And I'm just sitting here like, lol,
Plenty, myself
what a
included.
joke.
Plenty, myself included.
And I'm sitting here like this is a joke because again, I've just been, I feel like in such the real world that like I really got quoted over a video game argument over people saying and deflecting their inner issues and racism slash anti-Semitism
Yeah.
towards other people. Because I still think y'all are crazy. I
Or
and it's funny because everybody's gonna say, "Oh, of course you do," just kind of like you got that black friend, right? I actually have Jewish family. I know, right? I have Jewish family. I'm sorry, I've never when I've read any of my fantasy and lore that I love.
yeah.
I don't think I've ever thought of my cousin when I read about a goblin.
That's just
So like I'm still gonna stand by it, guys. And even if you're Jewish and claiming this, I'm sorry, you must really hate yourself enough. Learn to love yourself, guys. Learn to love yourself, which is why me and many others who don't sit online all day are able to laugh at this shit. And you're talking to someone, I'm serious. I had boyfriends break up with me when I was in middle school and high school because they would call me and then they would show up to my house and they're like, "You've been ignoring my phone." They're like, "Oh, you're on fucking Halo?" Yeah, dude.
wow.
I stayed locked up. So what I'm saying is the world is really cool and everything is good in moderation. I still game, guys. I still obviously get online and play some funny shit with Twitter. Get like 100,000 fucking views on a damn tweet and just laugh about it, man. Stop taking things so personally. I've learned to love life for that. And that's why I say more confidently now. I don't think I'm done with completely with content. Um, but it will never be a career. I will never try to make it a career. Absolutely not. I
And
will love to have it as a fun time hobby and for other people to laugh with me or to
yeah,
cry in pain to stop from, just cry, laugh to keep from crying, something like that.
the funny thing is, like, I'm starting to see more and more people getting like that too.
Well, and it's good. It's kind of nice to kind of see a lot more people. It's been very funny that the whole thing was, get woke and everybody's and now it's like you're actually waking up from the dream. You know what I mean? I get this insane dream that um all of a sudden you go from just this single pinpoint ant in the world to this big star overnight because of the internet. I mean that's cool, dude. It's really cool. I get it. But man, is it really worth all of that self hatred just because your social media didn't do good that week? I really have to ask a lot of content creators that. And I mean, I made that tweet, last week. It, I really miss seeing friends and people and gamers just happy to game, happy to play, happy to find new people to hang out with
Yeah.
versus this thing. And I mean, like, I've literally seen my friends talk about being depressed, and I literally watch their streams, watch their numbers, and I instantly know. And I'm watching from a public viewership of number, not there inside that they could see at a fine tune. And I know exactly. I see when their moods are high. I can see when that dopamine's high during their streams. And I'm like, that's cool, but damn, one bad week because someone got sick and couldn't make it to their job, whatever it may have been, and y'all like to support fucking minimum wage jobs like it's supposed to be a living fucking wage, but y'all really don't understand minimum wage is not a living wage. Holy fuck, get your lives together, learn a skill. So I'm sorry because minimum wage, the minimum thing you have to do is be able to read, and if you really still can't figure out how to put someone's order together, you I you don't even have the minimum skill to read. Why do you want somebody to pay you more than that? You obviously need to work more for that. So, anyways,
yeah, you
I
do.
mean,
I,
I hate to be rude, and just quick insert, real quick,
mm,
guys. Skills are based on many things. Okay, whether it's a physical skill, a mental skill, whatever it may be. A skill in math, you can be good at being great at that. A social skill, those are skills. Guess what? I am a salesperson. I get paid hourly, and if I make a sales goal, I get a bonus. Guess who made first place in sales last month?
yeah,
Like social skills mean something. So learn how to have them because a lot of you guys are still looking at the floor while having a conversation with somebody and you're just trying to order a McDouble. Like get real. You can look at the cashier, they're not judging you. They're just happy you're there because they don't want to clean. All right?
And I got a question for you.
What's up?
We gonna jump that bridge.
Let's go.
That content creating. Be honest with
Hmm.
me. Answer this. You're married, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're a woman, right?
Yes.
I just need you to answer one question for me.
Okay.
Do you honestly believe you, as a woman in content creating, believe that a single woman can do better in content creating than a woman who's married? Or in,
Absolutely.
thank you. That
Absolutely.
I've been wanting so long
Absolutely.
to I've just been wanting so long for a woman to answer that.
Absolutely. You do have women that are married. I'm not going to drop names. We can talk about that on an offline section, you know what I mean, of
Yeah.
non recorded section. Um, but there are women who have done decently well as a married woman, but you will find out. There's also reasons why Pokimane has never discussed her relationship status. You're going to find out why a lot of these women don't discuss their relationship status. Um, you got to understand that women, this is really going to lead to something bad.
Mm,
Women, we know how to bait and hook in the social game of fishing. All right. Men may know how to put that nasty worm on a real hook, but we know how to hook, line, and sinker on the internet. And I hate to tell you, probably, I mean, hell, how long did it take for us to find out until the crazy ass divorce that Amaroth was married? Everybody thought that was a single ass bitch.
mm-hmm.
Did anybody know until? Please tell me. Ooh, please tell me. Because I sure as hell did not know that woman was married.
To, to,
Period.
to be fair, I'm gonna be honest. I assume everybody taken, unless specified otherwise.
And it's actually a lot smarter. It's a lot smarter. And I'll tell you this: one, it stops you men from being in an essay case, even if it's just an internet of the people, by the people, and for the people of Twitter. You will be drugged through, so just don't. Um, DMs are never safe. Never ever think any of your DMs are safe. Also, always assume that if she is even flirting back and yet she still flirts on stream, you are being made for content. I mean, and look, another thing that I will say about that subject is every human wants what they can't have, even women, because it works the same way with men. A lot of these men, um, they do really well being single. Um, if they do get married, it becomes a better point in the book for other men, and it becomes more family friendly for the girlfriends. So now you can kind of up your viewership where it sucks to say, and I know there's a standard, but you just got to understand the job, man. All right. Um, it's an entertainment business.
Yeah.
You just got to understand that, which is why I said earlier, like, I know that I didn't do as well in content. And yes, it could be because of my looks. It could be because of my personality. Some of it was straight up looks, and that's fine. That's fine because there are people that I wasn't going for people. That wasn't my target audience.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really I don't need to say anymore. That's simply actually what it is. It's these women have a target audience, and they know single men who think they have a chance are going to give you more money. And if your job is to entertain and play the game so that you can pay your rent, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And look, I'm someone that says I don't give a shit what you do, and that's why I laugh that people call me such a Trumper and right wingy wacko because I am so centrist, y'all. I am so centrist. Because I literally believe do whatever you want as long as you're not harming the next person. Seriously. So if you like sex work, enjoy your sex work. I don't care. You just can't get mad if you brag about your sex work and people don't respect you in a formal setting.
I mean,
You can't be mad.
yeah.
Do you think Playgirls, they got, or Play Bunnies, do you think they went and got the same respect? No. When they were in a formal setting, they still dressed scandalous and they let the men whisper in their ear. Why? Because whatever charity event they were going to for those men to put in the pockets, they knew what they were doing. There's nothing wrong. Yes, sex sells. Am I mad about it? And even as if I were to go into my Christian values, which by the way, I'm not the biggest Christian, I was just raised with Christian values, and that's sort of where I lie my initial moral compass.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Um, so I mean, whatever, sex sells, it just does. And we've all gone through it. We all learn the lessons, okay? Nobody's perfect. And if you want to take advantage of that, do that. And then that's what also grinds my gears
What?
is we're going to talk about these people wanting money off the internet and then
Mhm.
wanting to be in a socialist country. I don't think they understand that if they lived in a socialist America, if that existed,
Yeah.
they would not be able to get online donations for doing what they're doing because that only exists in capitalism. In socialism and communism, everybody gets the same wage, so nobody's giving anything extra. There is no charity.
That's quite very interesting, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie.
To think about it,
Yeah, that's something
because I
really to
really
think about.
think these content creators really, it's funny because they're out here like Hassan, and I'm like, I mean, Hassan's the biggest example of how you laugh at communism because how you get a bitch at capitalism and then literally take every advantage of it. I mean, look at the dude's cars. Have you ever seen a communist country where it wasn't the leadership that had vehicles like that? Because I know my ass in a communist country, I'm not having this. I'll be damn lucky to even have a good internet connection for you guys to even see half my ass. So let's be real. Oh, actually, in a communist country, we're coming into like, oh, we've almost been on for 2 hours. They only allow 2 hours of a time of internet access. Oh, shit. We got to get off. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Y'all are dumb. And it's
Wow.
really weird because people trying to really make a fucking a living on the internet and try, and it's like, y'all really can't even use that same internet to see how stupid you are. I don't even like Google, but Google still will tell you the definition of shit.
Even the word shit.
I'm saying, except for like woman and man, they're starting to get a little sketchy.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna have
Yes. We're starting to get to the point where every definition is if the person identifies as a blank. That circular definition issue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, are they using like I think
Yes.
they calling themselves trying to replace
Oh yeah, what
gender
was the latest
before.
one? I just liked it by Sydney Watson, which made me fucking laugh. Hold on, let me go to my likes. Where are you at? Oh, this is where we're at. Experts say other terms that could be problematic include man, woman, mother, father, as well as survival of the fittest. Use egg producing, not female, says scientist, and call to phase out binary language. Motherfuckers, if you call me a goddamn egg producing motherfucker, I swear to fuck. Sorry, bleep all that out.
Oh, it's not getting bleeped out. I'm telling you that now.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. You got to be careful with those TOSs on YouTube now. But y'all, I am a female. I may or may not produce eggs, depending if I am or am not on birth control.
At least you honest.
So just because I'm on birth control and I am producing dead eggs, are you now calling me a man?
That's actually a good question. Because if you basing it off that word, yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, to be fair, how birth control works. But then again, so a woman who had to have a emergency hysterectomy because she has tumors inside of her fallopian tubes, which means she also won't be able to have a baby. Does that make her less of a fucking woman? That's what's killing me.
Mm-hmm.
Is really these men are really invading my space that much. Like it cuz I could never in my mind think I could one day wake up and be like, "What up, dudes? I'm a dude. Call me Taylor. You can still call me Taylor because it's it goes both ways, just like I do apparently. These? Oh no, that's not. No, those aren't tits. I'm a dude. Call me a dude. Like you're not going to. I would be a fucking offended if I was one of my brothers and they're like, "No, Taylor, you're a chick. You're a chick. You're still a dude. You got your dude, but you're still a chick." Like, I'm sorry. Quit trying to take away people. Quit trying to take away people's womanhood and manhood. That's killing me because men are being feminized and women are being masculized. Like, I don't get it, dude. What is so wrong, like, with being what you were? Again, I thought it would have been a lot cooler when I was on hikes and when I was out and about and there were no porta potties. If I could have a dick to take a piss when we were out in the wilderness, that would have been cool. But I'm glad I don't because I like my husband and I kind of like sex the way it is. I don't know. Call me straight, I guess, because I am, but I don't know why that's a big deal. And please quit calling me cis. CIS. The homies, you can call me cis. But the gay community, the LGBT, quit calling me cis with a C. That don't mean shit to me. Quit calling me a cis woman. I'm a woman. There's a reason why we call transgender women.
it
It's just, it blows my mind. And also,
it's a label for everything now. It's just like
yeah, if you want to label your new invention of whatever you want to become, go ahead. I'm cool with that. Cool with it. But do not try to change what has always been. I don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You ever heard that?
yeah.
The word woman hasn't been broken. Adult human female seems to work just fine for me. I mean, and when people who are on Twitter are like, "Oh, it's so sad you just uh what was it? You equivalate your life and your importance by your uterus." And I was like, "No, no, no. I don't know how you get the two mixed up." I really do have that question for the community because like
Mm.
it gets me that you're going to be mad at me for understanding what my biology is, but then tell me you're that I'm mad because of what my biology is, that it means so much. But yet it obviously means so much to you. You had to go get surgery to get the same shit.
That's actually quite the comment. That's yeah. That's actually yeah.
They just
Mm-hmm. Because I had to actually repeat what you said in my head, and yeah, I, I, I understand where you're coming from with that. Like 100, like I really do. I get what you're saying. and
It's
and
just
I do feel like to just some people are just mad just to be mad. But
oh, absolutely. There's a lot of those folks that you could just tell were just mad to be mad because if you needed them to break down an argument, they weren't going to.
no,
Why would you? And then it got really fun. If people did feel the bravery to, um, and then they really didn't like it because another thing that I started thinking about, dude, is like another part of all this blew my mind, and we're getting back to the issue of free speech.
yeah,
Like we really are. Like everybody was so pissed off at me for talking about my womanhood, my genetics, my biology of who I am was so fucking offensive to people, and it's like that's cool. But like I'm free to say that. I'm an American.
yeah,
I'm under American law. If I break Syrian law, I don't give a shit. I don't know what I was supposed to. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like I know I have free speech, and that's why I get pissed off when I've ever been banned. I've only been banned once from Twitter, and I really forgot and thought, damn, I really was thinking after all this Twitter business, I was like, damn, I'm really gonna get suspended again.
yeah.
And then I was like, wait. And someone had to point out and remind me, Taylor, Elon Musk owns Twitter, and he don't give a fuck about pronoun bullshit.
Yeah, that dude letting everything. Yeah, he really letting every lot of stuff go now.
I'm okay with it because it's free speech, and he is a free speech absolutist.
Yeah, yeah,
He really is. With whatever damned consequences that comes with, that's what it is. But that's what makes it great because, hell, I love the backfiring that is coming to a lot of these folks. Did you hear about that writer who's getting sued by J.K. Rowling because in the UK there is no such thing as free speech?
no,
She
no.
gets to sue their ass
What
for
they do?
libel. Um, it was back a bit. What was it? Sue.
Fucking.
Yeah,
I'm actually interested in knowing what the hell he called himself.
yeah. There was a. Yeah, J.J. Wells. I would like to publicly apologize for previous Twitter thread where I interacted with J.K. Rowling on matters relating to the transgender community. I've now removed the tweets and would like to apologize to J.K. Rowling. And I want to say he deleted it.
He deleted the
Um,
tweet.
yep. And I wonder if I can find.
She should have told him about Hogwarts Legacy. Then she'll accept it.
Here it is. Well. This is what he posted. He said, well. We meet at last, J.J. Wells. To think you were once an icon to me, I think you absolutely have the views that align with Nazis. I think Fred also has views that align with Nazis. I think relying on tropes and stereotypes is very 1930s propaganda. So J.K. Rowling said, "Okie dokie, JJ, we'll play it your way. Give my regards to your solicitor," which in the UK is a lawyer.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, she really didn't do anything wrong, but just um,
She's
what?
just saying what I've said earlier. Why are men going into female spaces with their penises out and saying they belong there? That's simply it. I remember a day and an age when a man went to go flash a woman and that person got the hell beat out of them.
That is true.
I remember the days when someone said something rude to a woman and got the hell beat out of them, made a woman feel uncomfortable.
That's
But
true too.
that's a whole nother story because women we've degraded ourselves so far beyond that men do not want to help us anymore because we will just make a TikTok video talking about how disgusting and toxic they are for the clout.
And that gym thing.
And
I
it's sad, dude, because it's like,
yep.
it's okay to people watch. It's okay to think shit about people in your head. It's the fact that when you say it out loud, like, god damn, go get therapy. Quit saying it on Twitter. Go to your therapist where they legally can't say shit to anyone and it stays in that four walled up room and you can get your crazy out there. Quit infecting us. Shoo shoo.
Here's my question when it comes to therapists, because I've actually heard about this, a couple of stories revolved around this, rather. So, go see a therapist. You admit to committing a crime. They still can't say anything.
No. If you make any threats as far as if they find within what they find with their judgment within their practice and their knowledge, if they feel as if what you were saying in there, I don't know about past crimes, but I do know they are supposed to report any future crimes that they do mention. You can be reported for that.
That makes sense.
Um, as far as past crimes, it's very hard because a lot of therapists will take it as possibly a delusionment, depending on the patient.
Mm-hmm.
So again, me not being a therapist or a psychologist, I can't really answer that. But I do know that therapy, they want you to be as honest as you can, and it helps when you're honest as you can. But I'm going to be very honest. You can make an allegory of how you are feeling um, to get it out to your therapist if just in case you are to have been a past criminal of or did some criminal action. I'm not here to judge. I don't know what state of mind you were in. I don't know if it was cold blooded. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's locked up in your mind, man. And all I can say is whoever it's for, you know what I mean? I just hope that however they seek it, and I really hope that, justice does find its way, whether it is through their therapy or whether it was through rehabilitation in some fashion, you know?
Yeah.
But no, like I said, as far as I know, future crimes, yes, if it is threats towards that. But I
Hmm.
don't think about past crimes because I mean it's kind of almost a he said she said
Yeah.
scenario because it's not like you're bringing, and also at a therapy session you can even say you were under duress, which is why you were seeking therapy in the beginning. Um,
Sounds like a lot
Laws
of
get
people.
very very gray, and it is actually good when a law is gray because when a law becomes black and white, it actually is more harmful to the good people
Yeah.
than it is the bad.
Like,
Um,
I mean, best case of what you brought up is all the cold cases or old cases where people then spent 10, 20, hell, some 50 years in jail for stuff they didn't commit.
Correct. And I mean, that's why you really can't go off of he said, she said. I mean, I think there have been family members in the past that have found diaries that have finally been unburied or finally taken out of a lockbox of like a bank lockbox or something, and come to find out that either they had the evidence and sometimes those families have turned them in,
Yeah.
or they've kept it as a family secret and never released the cold file or helped out the cold file. And obviously, I'm just going off of not that I know, but I would just speculate that's something I would believe because I think people do forget that there are still people in this world
Yeah.
where family does come first, no matter what
Mm.
and no matter how sickening that may be from an outside perspective, um, family is something that some people only have.
Yeah.
So, um,
The,
for all you know what I mean? I'm sure someone has found a crazy diary entry of their grandfather who was their fucking role model, and come to find out he was probably Jack the Ripper. You know what I mean?
ooh, I got a story for you regarding that.
Ooh.
That happened. That happened to a woman. I was watching this channel on YouTube called, which one was it? Coffee House Crime.
Hmm.
Watching that. That exact scenario happened. But I think it was her uncle. She actually
Someone
ended
she
up
really looked up to, and he was a really good uncle to her, very supportive, probably.
mm-hmm.
And it's really weird because that's how psychos actually act. It's they only those kills are usually in a passion of, whether it was a passion of thought through process and premeditation, but it's also they don't feel absolutely no sorrow. So even though they may not come out looking depressed, like, damn, I killed somebody, and they're like lurking about, like they've just had this dark shadow over them, instead of that,
Mm-hmm.
they may try to off turn their yin and yang and try to make sure that the things that are close to them, they're going above and beyond to make that good outturn that evil that they had to do. I mean, I think we see a lot of that in the mind of Dexter if you watch the TV series or read the book series.
Yeah. The crazy thing is she ended up killing him though.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could have done that. You know,
Nah, he had pictures of her going back
when she was younger
10,
and
15 years.
she had no knowledge of.
She
Ooh,
had no knowledge of it. None.
that is scary.
No knowledge of it. No, I'm talking about going back
Mm,
10, 15 years now. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I mean, and that goes back to, man, people don't know what some people have been through. And to put some women in a scenario where they are just forced to have to be somewhere where they could be victimized blows my mind. Like, where have we gone as a society to the point where we just really don't give a fuck? But I mean, I guess we've been seeing it. I mean, hell, what was the stories? I mean, women getting raped on subways and people pull out their phones before they start pulling the dude off of her.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard some just sit there and let it happen.
I don't I don't get that. And I kind of blame cities for that. I mean, I've lived in places that are more rural, and yeah, there's people that seem to want to mind their business. That's why they get out in the country. They don't want anybody in their business. But when people seem to do wrong, it's very interesting where I am from, and even the place I've lived between Missouri and Alabama, how most people will turn their head and see if anything is going wrong, and they're ready to react to stop a situation, not pull out their phone.
Yeah.
And so that's why you don't see these things happening in rural areas, because we're not pulling out our phones, we're stopping it before it happens, or stopping it before it becomes worse.
And you got a lot of people too who have that. How do you say it? The whole I didn't see anything, so they don't want to get involved, so they'll.
Snitches get stitches. I get it. There's
And,
things in life you ain't got to tell everybody about. But when we're talking about people literally getting hurt,
yeah,
destroyed, and right in front of you, how you're no better than the person who's literally
I'm an idiot.
destroying that person right in front of you. You're literally their audience. Like,
Yeah,
I don't get it. And I'm not going to compare it to a Nazi soldier. I think that's so overrated. I just think you were just that crummy of a human, and you have so much thought of yourself being able to make a real change, and
yeah.
you really must not believe in yourself enough to not step out. You would rather just sit back and in that crowd. And that's why I laugh so hard. Everybody tries so hard online to be the next best thing, but it's like, dude, y'all are just the same thing we're seeing rehashed. What is new about you? I see more individuals out in the real world now, and I almost want to carry around a phone and start recording them because they're so much funnier than the hashed out shit I'm seeing online now. Have some confidence.
It's getting ridiculous. It's like how you were saying everything's like on some type of social media. Bro, I've been watching that channel for a while now. You'd be amazed the length people are willing to go over jealousy, over love, over just wanting to be with somebody else, over just wanting to meet said singer, content creator, stuff like that. You'd be really amazed. And
And it's bad because we've already seen at these conventions, most of these people
yeah,
have no social skills outside of their comms headset for their video games.
yep. And And I'm just like, wow, it's one. I'm telling you now, the dude, he does a hell of a job. Like, he does a whole background, then he tells you what happened and all of that. He tries to stay unbiased, but in some cases, even I have to admit, I don't blame him having a bias towards. But, you know, it's it's one or two from TikTok, a couple from Facebook. I think he has one for sure. I'm not sure about two. Of one of the OnlyFans model. Like you really need to check out that channel. Like it's like I would recommend that channel to anybody. He does
I'll have to.
he does phenomenal work. He only spends it's only about give or take 30-40 minutes at the most. Like
Mm-hmm.
to get through one video he made. He tried to do one a week, but I've been watching that and another one, and it just astounds me that these are the lengths people are willing to go for attention or just to get noticed and everything else. Mind you, this is recent stuff as of,
Oh, I've
2020.
noticed it even recently. I mean, we had what was her face? I forget her name. The Warzone hacker.
Is it the one that got called by the celebrity?
Maybe. Forget her name. Nadia. Nadia.
That might be
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of found it funny because the whole time I thought she was a lesbian. She kept saying she was a lesbian, and now she's trying to find a boyfriend.
huh?
Is that? Hold on. Didn't someone else? Is it someone else doing that ever since they got a divorce in the public?
I don't know. You got to remember too.
Amaranth.
I was off.
Amaranth is. She's taking boyfriend applications. That's the new thing now. If you didn't notice, it
It
remember
is.
last year was pools and hot tubs. Now it's finding these hot ladies of Twitch. Uh, they're taking
Are you
dating applications.
are you serious? I'm not
Yes,
on Twitch anymore. I really don't know. Like
yes,
I'm gonna tell
yes.
you, I'm like,
Amaranth is taking boyfriend applications. She is scrolling. That is her new content while she's doing her other things that she does. I mean, she's a genius at what she does. Okay, sorry, haters. She makes a lot of money doing a damn good job at what she does. But yes,
fooling all the right people clearly.
yes. So
That's
yes,
why
I think Alinity was also doing boyfriend applications. Yes, yes,
that's why I can't be mad at a lot of the stuff that goes on.
yes,
Because
sir.
it's like, okay, people know it's stupid, but you still are doing what? You're subscribing to it. You're donating to that cause. you're there. You want
And
to be
look,
a part of it.
it is entertainment to watch how ridiculous these people are and these women react to these people. It is entertainment. I'll give them that. Not everybody can do that content. Everybody's going to try to.
Yep.
But just like the hot tubs, it's not going to be for everyone.
Hmm.
And that's going to be okay. But that's what's kind of getting me is like, I think that's what's kind of pushing me away as I kind of started getting more and more and more into the depths of content creation. I noticed it. If you didn't stick to trends, you got nowhere. And even a lot of these creators that were doing really well, they said, get on top of trends. They knew it. They were telling us. But again, if you're stuck in that sphere,
Yep.
that's where you're going to be. Now it's like, I mean, obviously, ever since the freaking Twitter mentions went off the handle the other day from that crap, I mean, now it's normal.
Hmm.
I've actually found a lot of peace the last 5 days. And I mean, I was never a big Twitter person, anyways, because again, since I've gone back to full time work, I don't have time to be online making these silly things. I can be out here joking. I will make a little troll post and laugh at how my Twitter analytics, when I type in analytics.twitter.com
Yep.
slash TayzerGG, it gets really fun to watch that big whoop spike go up. And it's like, dang, this is really easy. If I really wanted to do this full time, holy shit.
Wow.
I just got to comment on a whole bunch of people, and damn, did it pay off paying $8 for a fucking check mark because people get seething over that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he paid. Okay. I like not seeing that many
And
fucking
try
ads.
and try to use that as an argument. That's the crazy thing.
I don't under because it's like, okay, I have a job, I have money. Are you mad that you're poor?
Right? They actually you just reminded me. I actually need to get it.
and,
I
and
haven't
as a content creator, heads up, you can put that on your cost of your business as a content creator.
oh Lord.
It is a business tool.
That is actually the yeah.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. It
If you
is.
need any other advice for financial stuff, I can help you.
For
I do
nine
tell a lot of streamers if I wasn't going to make it, I could be a great manager.
well for 9.99.
Boy. Why do you think Pokimane? Do you know that girl? I mean, that's what people really aren't keeping up with. And that's what I laugh about these other creators. They're not paying attention to their craft. I keep
Mhm.
telling these people, what are you doing? What are you doing? You notice Pokimane doesn't just do live streams anymore. You notice she now has a content media business where she helps creators get in touch with people. She's basically doing management. She's getting other creators to pay her to help for her company that she makes and benefits off of in payment to help manage your stream and
Wow.
your business. That's what these companies do. I mean, and of course, like when you get as big as like these guys, like I'm serious. When you are a Pokimane, a Tim the Tap Man, a Doctor Disrespect, you need a team. You cannot be your boss, CEO, CIO. You can't be all of that. I'm gonna let you know. You cannot be all of that. When you build an actual business, you can't be everything. You're gonna have to hire employees. So what does that mean? You got to have a good fucking accountant. And that's where a lot of these folks mess up. I love it. I love it. The amount of fucking money the amount of streamers owe every year because they don't know how to do their fucking taxes.
Mhm.
Because they went into content creation, quote unquote, and didn't decide to learn the business and what it means to open and run a business, even if your product is digital.
Boy, you not wrong. Mm-mm.
They the amount of times I hear, "Oh, I owe the government more than I even got this year." Why? Did you tell them your expenses? Did you tag on every game you bought for your community to watch your entertainment? Everything you buy is tax deductible. The trip to TwitchCon, tax deductible.
I'm shocked that actually is.
You can, because it's a business trip. You had to do it for business, marketing.
Huh.
Because what is
Well,
everybody doing before they go to all these conventions? They print off a fuck ton of cards to give out
yeah.
to market themselves. Again, that is a part of your marketing cost. Some people, have you ever heard of Devin Nash?
Yeah. I
Devin
heard.
Nash is pretty smart on a lot of that stuff. I'm pretty sure he's made multiple videos on how you can get the most out of online content creation. And a lot of this comes from, and I already knew a lot of the things, and that's why I said, like, if I'm going to make it, it's because I got to get lucky and I've got to know some of the right people. And sure, eventually, if I would have put in a lot more of the work, could I have gotten there? Sure. But I was making it to a point in my life, dude. I just wasn't happy. I I needed to make myself happy, man. And I think some people really forget to self check that. Is like, have you stopped to say, am I happy doing what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Or is this becoming a drag? Are my finances so tied up that I don't even feel like I have to cut my groceries down to like hot dogs? If you're down to that, man, get yourself right. It was hard for my husband to have me want to go back to work. I started out part time, now I'm back to full time.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I like having that extra income. And it is really cool that the content creators that I truly do believe in and that honestly do have a heart for it and who haven't given up and are the real ones out there that aren't just creating drama after drama just to finally get the clickbait. The people they're doing the grind, the old school grind that actually retains true community over time,
Yep.
not just spiked community. You bet your sweet ass that when I get paid, I hit them with that sub if I can. Sometimes I can't do monthly subs, and sometimes I can't do it for like 2 months, but I can bet your sweet ass I'll try to drop a $50 bill on them
Yeah.
because I get it. But guess why I can do that? Guess who didn't who had to just rely on their Prime sub a year and a half ago? Guess who couldn't do anything? Guess who couldn't help their friends out and play the video games they wanted to play? Who couldn't even afford to get the newest game?
Yeah.
Guess what I did? I went back to work, and that was me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was me. Now I'm able to drop $100 dono on a friend if I wanted to.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I work.
And it's good if you do it part time. I think a lot of people, when you get into content creation, you should not go full time. Do it part time. Learn the craft. Learn your sound system. Learn your video quality. Learn what this means. Learn what that means. Learn what algorithms are. Learn how to trick the algorithms. Learn how to market yourself. And that's why you still have these people that are sitting at 50 or less with viewership on Twitch who have been streaming for now going on 5 years and haven't moved platforms.
Yep.
And if anything, they're at their lowest viewership ever because people can see you burnt out and they can see it when you're just, there's no entertainment value in you anymore. And that's okay. Like, even I know, I started getting very fucking stale, very stale. And that's okay. Because why? Why was I stale? I wasn't happy with my life. Guess what other people do in the real world who don't work from home? That's another thing I feel like people forgot. It's okay to go and apply for other jobs. You aren't stuck. Quit thinking you are. You're the only reason why you can go in and out of your front door to go find your happiness. There are many other jobs, many other skill sets. I am a very social person. I love to talk. I love to communicate with people.
Yep.
And guess what I found that in? Yes, I'm in retail. I might have found one of the most unicorn of jobs when it comes to retail, and that is at a vape shop / smoke shop, or basically heady shop. And it's great. The amount of people that sometimes have enough time to sit around and talk instead of just coming in and getting their papers or their new water pipe, and they sit around and talk. We have great conversations, and it's great. Guess what? I may not have 10, 15 people to view me every time I go live anymore, but I now have 25 to or more people who literally tell me every time I'm at work, they have to always ask for my schedule because they're like, if I don't see you here, I'm driving to the other shop. I still have people in my life that still think I mean a lot to them. And just because I move my craft from one area to another, that just shows that I am diverse. And I think a lot of people need to remember their diverse skill sets. And that's why I say content creation doesn't have to be over for me. But
Yeah.
I am kind of getting tired of being called a streamer because I never wanted to be a streamer. I wanted to actually create content of where people consumed it, enjoyed it, laughed, and maybe actually kind of had a little bit of a thought process along the way of critical thinking since I think it's so lost in this world now. I mean, hell, dude, I was in college in 2010 and I had to take a class called The Art of Critical Thinking.
Yeah.
It was required.
Is that Batman?
Do what?
Is that by la la? Is that by Batman or no?
By Batman?
Yeah.
No.
It's-
But yeah, I mean, you don't see both of them in the same room.
I figured you were gonna take that and run with it. Why I said it. But listen, oh God, critical thinking skills. If
I
I,
thought the class was so rudimentary. I really did. I used to tell my parents, and I even had a Facebook post come back up. I think it
mhm.
was last year about me complaining, and I literally quoted it on Facebook. It said, "I have now evolved, and I now believe that we still need critical thinking, and I don't know why I thought we should ever take this out."
Look, check this out. Like serious, I would love to have like non-political. It's actually part of the reason why I started this was because I want to give people who think critically and like just be able to say how they feel on several things, like the J.K. Rowling thing. Like I'm trying to avoid politics, though. Keep that in mind. But
Oh,
still,
absolutely. And I try to do that too. I mean, the last 3 to 4 years have been absolutely asinine, high politicized. And I tell people all the time,
I'm
I went I'm tired of it too. And you're talking to someone,
tired.
I am 30 years old. I have been gaming since the Super Nintendo. I have been online gaming since Halo, and I never stopped. I've been gaming for a long, even when I was in college, when I didn't have a console, I used my college assigned laptop and I ran a Minecraft server to make extra money on the side. Like the back before it was on the consoles, back when it was just back in like beta and you only paid $7 to try Minecraft for beta and
Yeah,
run servers to help the devs.
that's cool.
Yeah, I did that back in the day, man. Like this is I'm serious. Like I did stuff like that. And I have a big knowledge base. I went to school for business management. I did some accounting, and then I also I spent about 2 years in that, and then I spent about 3 years and got my short degree, which is roughly just right underneath having an associate's. I would have an associate's if I would take all of my core classes essentially, but I've taken all my computer science classes to have a short degree in.
Mhm.
Um, Found out that computer science is just not fun. It is fun, but it's not fun. Coding sucks.
Yeah.
um, but and now, sadly enough, if I go back to school, it's probably going to be for psychology or teaching. I am kind of out there.
okay.
But I know, it sounds weird, but I mean, dude, the teaching comes from I was that kid that I came to school one time with black lipstick and it took one teacher and he said, Taylor, are you okay? That was enough. You know what I mean? And I want to be that adult that's there for that kid that's just like, who thinks they're never seen, just to be like, dude, I see you. Are you all right? You know what I mean? Because that shit made a world of a difference to me.
Yeah. I
Never wore never wore black lipstick. I was just finally trying to get somebody to recognize, I do exist, and just having someone just say, hey, is everything okay? That meant a lot, and I'm crying now because like there's not enough people asking these kids, and when they are asking these kids, they're telling them that they're messed up, and I don't believe these children are. I think they're just as confused as I was of people aren't noticing them and they're just trying to find a way to be seen, and it's them to be seen doesn't mean they need to change their whole life over and become a girl or a boy. They just need to be who they are and just be told that they do exist and just stick in because this is just a part of life where you're just learning some of the basics,
yeah.
and the rest of life is where it comes in pretty awesome. These are just the silly years where we don't know how to handle things. And the adult years, man, they're still going to be as confusing, but you're going to have a lot more freedom to figure out who you are. And it's going to be more fun. I mean, that's my thing. I'm 30 years old and
More
it took
fun.
me halfway through my 20s to figure out who I truly was, People don't get that. They really don't. I mean, kids are so moldable and I don't want another kid to be like me. And it's already worse, but I even hated the fact that I grew up so quick. I don't know about you, but I just remember saying I can't wait till I'm 18. Can't wait to get
Hmm.
out of this house. Can't wait. And I come from an amazing set of parents. They're 31 years married. I'm the honeymoon baby. They never have divorced, never separated, and never slept in a separate room of the house. It's I come from that, and those types of things really kind of help that value up. That even though that I may have came from that white picket fence looking family, that didn't mean that I didn't have my own struggles. Because I love when people try to tell me that this this stuff gave me so much privilege and it stopped, and that's the reason why I didn't hit any adversities in life. When, as you can tell, I've been hit. I just tried to make a better point of it, and I tried to learn the lesson that came from that really heavy point in life instead of just sitting on that crutch, and even though my leg's been fixed, still crutching my way through life. We're done.
Yeah.
My leg's been healed. I'm healed. Let's be stronger so we don't have another break. Why do we stop forgetting that, man? I don't know why.
Uh, that's
Why do we want to be so broken? Like, friend to friend, I mean,
attention.
I ask these questions all the time to myself, and it's just like,
Attention.
and I even try to ask other people, why are we so hooked on being marginalized? Why are we so stuck? I mean, I remember one point in time, hell, even my mother said, there are things you're going to have to do better at in life because you're a woman, that you're going to have to prove yourself in other skill sets because just being a woman is going to stop you from maybe getting that management job. Does that sound familiar as a black man?
Hmm. Oh yeah, but
You know what I mean?
but
And but did that really hold us back?
no.
Now, I'm not saying my mother hasn't learned, and she even sees now that life has changed, and that may have been maybe in their generational time period where that lesson was being taught or being and going through it, but we've learned that that's not how it works anymore. You know,
Mhm.
we have become such a society that we respect each other so much more than we did literally let's see, barely 50 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we are so accepting that we've become so accepting that we just want to disaccept everybody again. It's so weird.
And and
And
that's
especially for someone who's from Alabama. Y'all, I come from like the most rainbow colored state. And I mean that in skin colors and culture and wherever. I People like to talk about New York City being such a melting pot. You know what Alabama doesn't have that New York has?
what.
We don't have Chinatown. We don't have Koreatown. We don't have this town. They are just your neighbor in your subdivision. We aren't separated. So if you want to be racist, you're going to have a really crappy time living in your neighborhood because we're all there together. That's where I come from. So that's why I laugh at the internet. Like, what is up with so much racism? I mean,
It's
I
just
know some of the BLM right stuff kind of filtered over to some places in Alabama, but I can tell you the majority of the state was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like dead ass. Nobody knew what the uproar was, and a lot of reasons because, like back in Alabama, we're not racist.
yeah. I was gonna
Like I
say
went up to New York and I literally sat there and heard people saying the most racist shit right next to each other. I'm like, holy shit. And at first I thought that was going to start a fight, but you're just racist as fuck to each other. And I know some people are like, at least it's like that. Unlike in the South, you're just whispering. And it's like, yeah, but the people that whisper, everybody stares at them and gives them a funny look and they never return to that place.
yeah,
You know what I mean? There's just
yeah.
people really discredit Southerners. We know how to make someone uncomfortable without just decking their fucking teeth down their fucking throat.
Although some do deserve it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Some,
sure.
some, some need to get punched.
But I really do find it funny that I found more Southern is less racist than I have in Northern states. So, like I said, I mean, I
Oh, North don't give a.
grew up in Alabama, lived a little bit in Georgia, lived a little bit of time in Maine, and lived in Colorado, and I visited pretty much all the continental states. I'm just missing the non-continental at this point.
That's that's pretty impressive. I don't.
Yeah, man. It's probably easier to name the states that I haven't been to than the ones I have been to at this point.
That's how I am. Honestly, like
Yep.
it'd be easier.
Because I try not to count the ones I just drove through. I try to count the ones like I actually spent time to kind of get a feel for either the state's culture or even the place in the state that I was at, learning something about the area.
Yeah.
If I just drove through it or flew through it or just was on a layover, I don't tend to count those.
Oh,
Which it was nice that the first time I was in Colorado was in an airport, and then about 5 years later to 6 years later, I actually was living there for a couple months. So,
that's Colorado. I still need to I've been to Colorado. I just haven't been to the Rockies.
dude, it's beautiful. Whether you go there in the summer, spring, winter, it's beautiful. If you don't know how to ski and do all that,
Hmm.
just go there for the sights. Don't go there for longer than about 3 days because it's just too cold. In the summer, excellent because at least in that 3 days, depending if you get a good weather mood,
Yeah.
you'll also get to see a little bit of moose without having to go all the way to Alaska for it. I actually had a moose stop me from getting into my apartment complex. I had to wait till he left because they are very aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Very, very aggressive. So,
Oh yeah. Definitely 100%. I believe it. I'm telling you. I think ever since I moved to like YouTube though, and just I got a bunch of I tell anybody I got a bunch of words muted on Twitter. Twitch being one of them.
I get it. I get it because, I mean,
But
look, I think YouTube has a lot that it's got to fix, and a lot for especially its live streaming portion. I think there's a lot that's got to be fixed. It's very hard to see when people are live on it. I think they're doing a little bit better. Um, Also, I think their algorithm can kind of be a little bit shaky, and the fact that they are trying to take out a lot of cursing, their DMCA policy is insane. I mean, there's a lot, but if you know how to finesse it, YouTube is great because I think you're going to find. I mean, the fact that you get views and the way the algorithms work can be really good when you get people going because they're When you subscribe, it actually works for notifications when you hit the bell. Things actually work on YouTube.
Yeah.
You have to finesse your settings in Twitch to be notified, or unfortunately, like on YouTube, you can be a little off your schedule as long as you get some of those videos in the week. At least if you tell your audience you're consistent on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, it you have so much flexibility. It's insane in comparison to live streaming. And even if you want to live stream, you could still do it, and you don't have to go through the editing because now it's a YouTube video. You don't just have to download, re-upload. It's just there's just so much. The only thing I really hate is if you go to trending on YouTube, it's the most disgusting things I've ever seen that are being pushed up on the top.
But see, when I first got to YouTube, like I've noticed more, and I'll tell it to anybody, I'm getting more attention now since I left Twitch and just put everything in
Twitch is a big pond as a creator. It's actually an ocean, but in the schism of the entire internet, it is still a pond in comparison to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like Mixer was literally the raindrop that hits the concrete. Twitch is a puddle.
Huh.
And then YouTube is a lake. And then you have the rest of the internet, which is the other oceans. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So like people really forget that like it is so funny that like I hate that I've stopped content creation in some ways because like I've gotten so much smarter over time. It's almost like it took me stopping it.
They're really
Yes, I got into it, I did it, I learned it. Like I told people I didn't want to sit there and stay on Mixer forever. Mixer was because it was just the drop of rain, not the puddle. I just wanted to learn how to fall and drop. You know what I mean? I just needed to know how things got started. So Mixer was just supposed to be my training wheels. And then Twitch, I wanted to eventually move over there to my big girl bike. But what's really funny is I don't think Twitch is even a bike to begin with. I think it's a unicycle that unless you have enough practice and unless you're actually trying and putting a passion into it, you're not going to be very good at it.
no.
You're like, you know what I mean? And where YouTube, I mean, YouTube almost lets you ride that bike, but also has an invisible training wheel for you just because of the way the website works in comparison. I mean, it does because it has discoverability is already its number one big thing that blows Twitch out of the water. Is just strictly the discoverability is insane. You just need to make sure you label your title correctly, and you can pop up on a lot of fucking searches, even by accident, for people who are looking for something else.
Yep.
It's stupid. Where on Twitch, the only way you find somebody is that you got to type the name absolutely correctly, or just hope you find it in a list of a fucking 1,000 that might be spelling it similarly. You don't really have a good discoverability tool. And even if you look at it, front page just always has looked like garbage. The carousel is just disgusting. They don't categorize it right. You try to go to the carousel and it's like it's just random variety of shit versus maybe doing multiple carousels of like the top categories, maybe, you know what I mean, of something. And like maybe a video game, maybe something IRL, and then you know what I mean? But I know they're not that Twitch is just such a exhausting thing.
Yeah.
I mean, even just talking about it is exhausting me because it's just such a bad platform. Like the quality of video is awful. It doesn't matter unless you're partnered, you don't get good video quality.
Yeah. That's a hurt.
Uh Yeah, I mean everybody gets 1080 now. Remember back in the day, we all used to be locked at 720 unless you got partner. Remember? Now the only way to get 4K option or anything like that is you better be partnered, and you better have over this many.
That's
And
ridiculous.
I'm sorry, YouTube Premium. I am okay to pay $15 to not get ads and to have all the extras in comparison to what is that god awful price that Twitch has for what is Turbo or something? I don't know what it is. So,
Or
uh,
I'm
well, man,
so I will
uh,
be honest. YouTube Shorts is like the biggest help you can have.
yes, I tell people all the time when they're getting involved, I tell people start with YouTube Shorts until you figure out what you want your main uploads to be because YouTube Shorts have such a great algorithm. It's okay if your shit's filled with shorts because you'll eventually push videos in, but you're going to be much further already in the algorithm for when your videos start popping in when you get full video content versus just a short.
So you actually do video edits and all that stuff, right?
No, I can. Ish. I have the programs for it. I just never sat down and played with them as I should have.
You and angelic boy. Y'all gonna kill me. She the same way. I want to do it. I got all the stuff. I just haven't done it.
Dude, you're talking to somebody that I have an actual I have. Fuck, what do I have? I have Adobe Premiere. I don't pay for it. I
Stupid.
just, again, I've made some decent friends in the content world who have given me torrented versions. Um,
Yeah. Ah,
along with the what is it, the encoder and everything for it too, Adobe Media Encoder.
yeah.
Yeah,
I have
I
after,
got it all.
and I haven't touched that in forever. That one's worth learning, but you gotta have the time.
Oh yeah, and trust, when I go into it, I kind of want to keep it simple. I'd like to not edit as much as possible, but the only thing that sucks about that is like it's really hard to go off script. I'm like, I'm one of those people. I prepare, I read, I try to research before I start talking about things. Because I'm just such a better speaker when things are just popping into mind. I do have some moments where like I'll lose track of where I was going with that thought process from time to time, but 9 times out of 10, I've always been a better public speaker when I'm thinking on the go versus I feel like I get a little bit more nervous and I start getting stuttery when I have to read out loud. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, and I'm the kid that was like, when we were reading out loud in class, I'm like, please just let me do it. I don't want to listen to stuttering Stevie. Please, please. I can't listen to that whole fucking paragraph. The, the, the dog jump, jumped over. I can't do it. I can't do it. We're in high school. Why did you keep passing him?
There
I'm
was
sorry.
supposed to
I
be
was
a
that
way to
kid.
stop that.
Do
I,
what?
I think if I remember right, there's supposed to be a way that you can actually it's supposed to be like a way you supposed to get it so that they don't do that anymore after a while. I don't remember. It was years ago when a couple of people told me about it. They had found a way to stop people from being from stuttering. How they can unlearn them from doing that.
Oh, really? Well, I was just talking about the kids that like because they didn't ever want to read unless it was in class. They couldn't read out loud in class. You remember those kids?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, you
And
make me
it's,
feel my age too.
I know, dude. I mean, yeah, you got
I'm,
a little bit of age on me. I know I'm 30. The kids on the internet are now calling me old, which has been interesting.
I'm gonna be 39 Friday.
Damn.
Well, thanks, damn, thanks, Tazar. Thank you.
Yeah. How's that extra 9 years of hatred feel? Just wanting to know.
Oh boy.
I just wanted to be prepared for the next 9 years. Is it
It,
okay? Am I
it,
gonna live?
the be fair, it actually goes pretty fast.
I know. I heard after you hit 30, things really start going. Whoo!
Yes. No joke. No joke. Because I'm telling you.
Because, dude, 18, slow as fuck. 21, slow as fuck. And then
Mm.
25 hit me, and the world was crashing and burning, dude. When I sat there and in my mental capacity said, I am a quarter of a century, Taylor. Where is life going? People only live for like 70 to 80 years in my family. Fuck.
Yeah.
I had a meltdown at 25, and then when I hit 30, I was like, where's that fuck I gave? Is it hiding? What the? Where'd you go? Shit!
Oh boy.
Gone. The fucks that you do not give when you hit 30. It's a blessing,
Yeah.
to say the least. It is a blessing. And I guess that's another reason why I still have my heart out for these kids. I seem like I'm very hateful towards the content creating community. I'm really not. I do enjoy these people. It's like I tried to tell somebody, I'm not a content creator anymore. I'm not a right wing, left wing. The only thing I'm trying to conserve
Mm.
is conserve sanity, not the clownery.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Sanity.
I just want to conserve sanity. That's it. I
Ooh,
mean,
that's a big load you trying to take them. Preserve sanity. I'm gonna be honest. Trying to keep your own sanity is hard enough. Then you trying to get other people and all of that.
well, I'll tell you, get yourself a cheap read. I'll tell you one of the best books I've ever read,
Mm,
The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz.
I've actually never heard of that.
Really good book. And I gave a friend, I actually bought a copy from Walmart and I gifted it to her. The Four Agreements are great. I think I
It's a
made a
novel.
post about it the other day.
It's a novel.
Um, what's that?
It's a novel.
It's actually a very, very small book. Very small. It's literally one of these things. I'll kind of read you sort of the passage
Yeah.
that he kind of goes over as far as don't take things personally, and this is why I tell people why I'm able to navigate the internet so well.
Oh.
So whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. This is by we mean ourselves, me. Okay? When we take something personally, we make it the assumption that we know, I'm sorry, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world and we try to impose our world on their world.
Yeah.
So think about it. I mean, why take something and someone else kind of put this in another perspective and it kind of helps, like don't take things personally really just means you should not let other people's comments, actions, attitudes, opinions or choices affect how you feel about yourself in your own life. So I mean, like, just that alone is the reason why I'm like, I don't give a shit what you feel about Hogwarts Legacy. I'm going to play it. What you feel about it doesn't affect how I feel about who I am. I know I'm not a transphobe. I know I'm not a hater. And I know I'm not calling for these people to be murdered.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take it personally that you're calling me this on the internet. And if people can get to that spot in their lives, and that's what I'm saying, this is such a great book. It's a very, very short read. It's also available if you make an Audible account. It's available as an audiobook for free.
I've been meaning to make one, actually. You didn't brought it up. It's just one of them cases where you sit there and tell yourself to do it, then you forget about it. Then it comes back later on,
Mhm.
like,
You know what I did one day when I was off work? I pushed myself, and when I was just shopping in Walmart, I went to, and it's not a good book section. Walmart doesn't have a good book section. I went and found a book, and I started reading it. Dude, I'm 30 years old. You want to know the last time I sat down and read a book? I was like 25.
You want to know the last time I read a book?
I'm saying, I'm saying, and it was, dude. I will tell you, man. However you read, that's why Hogwarts Legacy meant so much to me. I had accelerated reading in the South. You had, I mean, it was big to know reading, writing, and arithmetic, right?
Hmm.
And because you don't want others, we got tired of that Southern redneck. We don't know how to speak right, do anything. We don't know what we're doing in here. So it was really big on me to not do that because I really hated when people would pick on me on Xbox Live when I said sniper rifle. Made me mad. So I always wanted to be that educated person. I mean, dude, like I I don't get where was I going with this? As reading and writing and all these things that we did so much, we took for granted how good it was for our brain. And I really can tell you, the most that most people read nowadays is their fucking Twitter feed. Get a book out. It was the most relaxing thing. I could not believe. I would have thought because I've been on the internet so much and reading news articles that I wouldn't feel like, oh, reading a random fiction book that I used to read as a teenager would kind of excite me. Dude, I found myself reading 3 chapters at a time and then looking at the clock and be like, damn, it's midnight. I need to go to bed from a book.
Yeah. I got a buddy of mine I actually work with. He just published a book. I told him he gonna give it to me. It's a novel wrote. First book he got published. It's on Amazon and every damn thing. I told him if he give me a copy of it, I'll read it on and upload it to YouTube. I was dead serious too. He probably
That's what's up.
he gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it for him. I told him
Do
I
like are you gonna read it like read it to YouTube or do a review on YouTube?
no, just read it to YouTube and just upload it.
Okay, gotcha.
Like I
You should also consider making sure that when you read it, either do it for that, but you also can put in and record to be his audiobook voice. So he can already have it put on the audiobook if you do something like that.
I need to ask him about that. Matter of fact, I am. It's not like I'm not gonna see him. I'll see him Friday.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, you have the equipment to sit down and do a good audiobook reading, and it's really helpful.
That is true.
I want to say you can. I think you used to get paid to do stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like really minimal. Which is why when you get some audiobooks, you can tell like, ugh, the reader, and it's like, but you just sit through it because it's like I don't have the book in my hand. I only listen to audiobooks when I'm driving,
Yeah.
so that's about the only time. Otherwise, I'd like to read the words.
That's how I usually am. Or if I'm like just about around about in the house and I know I
I
got
can't even do that because like I have such a vivid imagination, and that's I think why I like to read is because like I literally that's why I was going with Harry Potter was so big to me because we had accelerated reading, and so I was able in the 3rd grade. They said that Harry Potter was like a 12th grade reading level
mm-hmm.
at the time. And I was in the 3rd grade, and I felt very proud after I took my reading comprehension test that I was able to check out library books that most of my other 3rd grade classmates couldn't check out because I was able to read 12th grade books.
Yeah.
So, and the Harry Potter books on the AR test, because at the end of the year, the kids, the top 25 AR readers and scores, got a pizza party at the end of the year.
Oh,
That means a lot to you as a 3rd grader, okay?
yeah.
I'm just saying. And when Harry Potter was over 100 points per book,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
you
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
That's a lot.
So, yeah. And I also had a grandmother who is a big reader. So she kind of helped encourage the reading, anyways.
Oh, okay.
And so Harry Potter was my very first book that I read that had zero pictures in it. And that was actually a book and not just a nursery. You know what I mean? So Harry Potter means quite a bit to me. That was the first place I could put myself in a real imaginary world in my own mind without an illustrator.
Yeah.
And I guess, even if I didn't believe in what J.K. Rowling said, I still don't understand how people can feel the way they do. Because, like, it's kind of like I said on that quoted tweet, that quoted tweet wasn't, but when I was arguing with somebody and a few people, seemed to like it, I was like, if you can't separate the artist from the art, you're going to really have a hard time getting through the rest of this life without canceling the rest of the art world.
Ooh, boy.
Because think about it, Michael Jackson,
Y-
touching them kitties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what?
People
I
still.
still will jam to his music.
Yeah.
He made great music. Do I like the guy of who he is? Hell no. Sure, great. He's dead. Now I don't have to worry about if any other kids go to Neverland. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all the accusations, that's fine with me. But, I could separate shit like that. There's a lot of things you should learn how to separate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you don't, you're going to be very upset when you go back into history and find out all these wonderful artists that you learned about or that you think about. They actually have biographies about how disgusting they really were. And most of them were pedophiles or very disgusting racists.
Yeah. You be
Fun facts.
you be surprised some of the comments they have given out that one they don't even apologize for, mind you.
Oh no.
They stand by that shit too. That's the crazy thing. Like I give you credit for having balls, but holy fuck you. For real. For real.
Yeah.
For real. Oh boy.
Like they're just some things, and that's another thing. Well, I can't take things personally because I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I come from. I know who my friends are. And no, not all of them have the same skin color as me, nor do they like the same gender as I do. Some
Ah.
of them like the same gender. That's cool. I still love them.
Yeah.
I still think they got an awesome personality. But guess what? Who they fuck doesn't decide if I like them or not. It's their personality and how they treat the other humans around them. And the shit that I got from Twitter,
Mhm.
sorry, y'all lost your fight. If y'all ever wanted ally, and if you ever wanted to turn me into an ally, you fucked up. Because coming after my looks when you're out here, when some of the men are out here trying to be a woman even half looking like me, y'all got something fucked up. Still ain't for me. Sorry. And I have a transgender neighbor. Her name is Amber. She's a wonderful human being. Guess what? We don't have a talk about. We don't sit there and talk about what each other should do in our private lives.
Yeah.
Really weird, isn't it? She's asked me to come out to some pride days, some pride parades. I said, if I can make it, I can. If I'm not working, I'd love to. I'd be there to support you, even though that's not my community. I'm there to support you. And she's like, I'd appreciate that. We talk about caring for our neighbors. We talk about keeping our area safe, our apartment complex safe, because we live in an area where methamphetamine is a choice of drug for a lot of people around us.
Oh really?
And a lot of people who don't know what methamphetamines do to people, it makes them break into cars and do silly shit that they shouldn't do. And we've had that happen. I've had my car broken into. These things happen. But that's why it takes a community and your neighbors. Because that's the funny thing. These people who want to call me a transphobe, I bet you, no matter what in life happened, if they were in a hurricane, natural disaster, anything were to happen, I promise, I would come and help you no matter how shitty you were to me on the internet. Where I know for damn sure, because we've already seen it, that most of you guys wouldn't lift a fucking finger to help your fellow neighbor because you think they're a transphobe because they won't hang up a fucking rainbow flag. Guess what? I'm the type of bitch that, even though I hate Biden, if my neighbor's holding up a Biden sign and they say, hey, my house is on fire, I'm still running in to go help them. Even though their vote has probably destroyed my life as far as financial income, because I am making enough money, guys, that before Biden was president, I would have been able to go on a week-long vacation with my husband, paid in full.
Don't we all need a vacation right now?
You know what I'm saying?
Not even being funny.
No, I'm not. But you go try to pay for that plane ticket. You go try to pay for that gas.
Yeah.
While we're still, and here's the thing, we all need a vacation, but hell, dude, I don't even know if when I go to work, if I'm going to see a fucking bomb come out of the sky at this point.
You're not wrong.
I was telling my husband that. He was sending me a text today. He was like, baby, I still love you even if you grew a penis. I said, babe, that's not how biology works.
Fucking camera.
And so he was trying to fix it and whatnot. And he was like, no, I'm just saying. I said, babe, no, that's just not how it works. He said, no, babe. If there's I'm thinking in terms of a fallout. And I was like, oh my God. Because I'm having the best day ever. Because yesterday was my nuclear fallout anxiety day, okay?
Oh, okay.
So I had totally gotten out nuclear fallout out of my mind, and my husband had to remind me.
That's funny.
And I told him, I said, look, I wish you wouldn't. I said, I had gotten it out of my mind, out of sight, out of mind, trying not to think about looking at the sky to see that one shiny motherfucker of doom coming down.
Oh boy.
You know,
That is kind of bothersome though. I'm not gonna sit there and lie.
I'm laughing to keep from crying because it really is scary. And I told him, like, no sarcasm. I'm trying to laugh. I seriously, one of my biggest coping mechanisms, it's dead ass. I really do laugh to keep from crying on a
Yeah.
lot of things because I don't like to cry. I
Oh,
feel very vulnerable. And, you know, whatever anybody wants to say to that, I just feel really vulnerable crying in front of people. I would rather just cry to myself and nobody see it and
yeah.
then I'm good. But, you know, I really am, I'm fucking scared. I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I have in my lifetime, and I witnessed 9/11 in my third grade classroom happening. I was not. I mean, even having hindsight 2020 and getting older, I still wasn't as scared as I am now.
Hmm.
Like,
Nah,
there's nothing that keeps us from getting out of a world war. We've already aided and abetted a country that is not a part of NATO
they
to a country that also isn't a part of NATO, but does not take kindly to people siding with their enemy.
yeah.
And again, I still stand at the foot saying, like, they didn't want to join NATO. And even if they were being threatened by Vladimir, if they would have gotten in and even made the plans to, we could have been ready to protect them even then.
I don't know what the hell y'all.
Because last time I checked, I mean, I remember specifically, and these things seem to be happening. Trump said he would bomb Moscow if Putin went into Ukraine. He said he would bomb Moscow. He told China he would bomb Beijing if they went into Taiwan.
Yeah.
What are the two things that are happening right now? And guess who isn't president?
Well, you said who isn't president, right?
Yeah, who isn't? Yeah, who isn't president right now?
Trump ain't president.
So So they don't have a fear of that threat anymore. So why do you think they've been doing the shit they're doing?
Yeah.
Holy hell, man.
It's like it's like Della said on here. He was like Biden is just a puppet.
1,000%. So is Kamala. This whole, and it freaks me out because I used to think that Obama
Mm-hmm.
was a puppet for how he handled things. He was a very well spoken puppet when it came to speeches. I mean, the guy, he spoke so well for a politician, not just the color of his skin, not because of whatever. It's literally in comparison to his other colleagues in politics, the dude spoke so clean and crystal clear that when you spoke, you wanted to listen. He had a charisma tone that people don't get. But if you took his voice out, because we had to do this in critical thinking class in college, we actually got transcripts of his State of the Union address.
Yeah.
We went through all of that and we did critical thinking. And I will tell you, want to know why Obama sounded beautiful in all of his speeches? His speechwriter was very good at stating and making very huge ambiguities within everything. And what an ambiguity does is it really, so you have a word that can have multiple meanings so that when you're speaking to such a large audience, it resonates with that person no matter what. Think of ambiguities as when you go to a palm reader. They probably can't really read your palm,
Yeah.
but they're going to ask you ambiguous questions so that they can narrow down or give you ambiguous answers so you can say, oh, yeah, I have experienced a traumatic event in my life. We all have. So, with that being said,
Yeah.
I encourage people definitely go back and look at Obama's speeches. He was very good at ambiguities and very good at very charismatic talking points, which is why I think he's great. I think he's a great spokesperson. He has great pauses. He has great vocal points on where he stops, on where he boldens his tone for certain things. He's a great speaker, which is why I was not surprised that the man has made more money after leaving office for just public speaking. I mean, the guy is great at it, just not my favorite policymaker. Crazy, isn't it?
It's very, very
But I must be
sweet.
some right wing psycho.
Ah, if you don't agree, you write something. It's like, bro, I'm so done with the whole phobia isms and all of that. It's like why can't I just not agree? What if I don't agree? I don't agree with either side. So like why is this whole
Exactly. There are a lot of subjects where I'm like, I kind of have an opinion, but I
hmm
just don't have enough of an opinion, or it just doesn't affect me enough to have such an opinion on it.
yeah. Then that's how I am.
And that's okay. Because another thing that I've been telling people that really upsets me, and this is IRL talks, not internet talks,
Hmm.
is I just want to know. And I actually asked Chat GDP or Chat T Chat GDT or something like that, the AI chat, and I asked it to define a democratic republic and a democratic country. It said both are interchangeable. Wrong.
Huh?
Yes, the AI said, and this is why we have stupid people. Apparently, a democratic republic and a democratic country are both the same. They are not. It wanted to say they're interchangeable. The only difference being a democratic country would be exactly what you see in the UK. You have a monarch, it is not an elected official to take on, such as a president that we have. So that is a democratic country, the UK. It does have a constitution and it does have representation, but it does not have an elected um, hierarchy. Um,
Hierarchy.
Democratic Republic, that's what makes us different. So for an AI to tell us that that is the same is very showing.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're also the ones that I asked, what is a woman and what is a man as well. And
Oh God.
that was very interesting.
There's a video on that.
There's plenty, and also be careful. There are also a lot of deep fakes that are going on now. There are now
Yeah,
applications
yeah,
that you
I
need
heard
to be
about
careful of. There's a Joe Rogan one that I saw the other day. If you see the video, you can see it. If you're just listening audio, you might be harder to hear it, especially for someone like me because I have only a 20-minute drive to work on some days versus just 5 minutes. If I have the 5 minute drive, I just don't. But when I have that 20-minute drive, I do my Spotify podcast. I put them at 1.2 speed so that the natural way people speak is sped up just a little bit so that I get most of the content on that 20-minute drive.
it. Okay.
If I were to listen to that deep fake of Joe Rogan at that 1.2, I would not have caught it. Let me just put it that way. And people are doing ads for these kinds of things. And I mean, these deep fakes are getting big. I mean, we already saw it impact the gaming community and streaming community with that creepy boy. Are you
It,
falling asleep on me?
uh-uh. No, no, no. I'm thinking too at the same time.
Okay.
And I'm slapping my arm on my chair. That's why you see my hand just randomly going like this.
Oh yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. No, I literally, this is actually a recliner.
Oh, good.
That's why I have to literally keep myself like
Yeah, I
this,
saw you
like this.
rocking for a second. I was like,
Yeah.
is he good?
It's literally a
It's
recliner. So I have to keep myself moving.
like
Now,
I have a squeaky chair.
but now, if I was sitting like this, and I probably have my eyes open, you might want to find out if I'm actually asleep. I might be asleep. I ain't gonna lie to you. Nah, dead serious. I probably would be. No joke.
That's
I've
too
had
funny.
no. That's why I can't watch movies in this chair. I pass out. Like dead serious. I
I
tried.
can't do it anymore.
Mm-mm.
I can't fall asleep in anything but a bed.
Really?
And I am the type of person. Well, I can fall asleep in a car. It really, really depends. But I used to be able to fall asleep in chairs, anything. I have the personality that, and also uh, the natural instinct because I was taught to keep my head on a swivel to keep myself out of dangerous situations
Mm,
in life. I had a military father, but also because I was his only daughter, he didn't want anything to happen to her, so he
mm-hmm.
wanted me to be safe. So I can't go to bed in any situation. Um, and it's funny because my parents would laugh. The only place I fell asleep like that and on a couch was my grandparents. I don't fall asleep in places that I'm not comfortable with and that I need to be on alert. Kind of
That's
like soldiers do, if
yeah.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Makes
It's
sense.
kind of like that. I don't know why. I just have never trusted people. And and when I do sleep, it's because I sleep so heavy. Like, you literally could draw everything on my face and I didn't drink. You know what I mean? I'm just such a heavy sleeper. I even had girls when we were on a choir trip. They had toothpaste all over my face. I woke up and none of it was on me, thank God.
Yeah.
They were nice enough to clean it up, but I didn't find out till a month later. And they were showing pictures after they got it printed off. Of course, this was back before digital photos on cell phones were a big thing and as clear as they were
Yeah.
back when you know what I mean? And taking a disposable camera down. And yeah, while I was asleep in the hotel room, I fell asleep first. And that was probably a big reason why I do not fall asleep without people because they did not tell me. And then when they were looking at pictures and everybody was crowded around and they flipped through and it was a picture of me with all the shit on my face while I'm asleep, I was like, talk about how to lose trust in humanity really fucking quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't. Ooh, boy.
Oh, yeah. I was a girl that got bullied a lot. So come at me on the internet. You ain't got shit.
Yeah.
You know, don't say shit I haven't heard.
I
I
actually
promise.
I actually just found out this mod is broke. I need to go buy another one. That's why I've been sitting here slapping my
Damn.
hand all on the damn thing. And the crazy thing is I just bought this probably about a year ago, so I'm kind of hot.
Well, here's the thing: as a vape shop worker, I've been noticing a lot of these devices, and you're going to need to be careful with your next one. They were made during the pandemic time, and that means low workers, low quality checks. And I've noticed a lot of devices have had a lot of misfires in comparison to what they were doing like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yep. There's been some misfires. My location, we give you 2 weeks from the date of the receipt. If you have any manufacturer issues, such as that, we will give a full swap out of the device within 2 weeks of your purchase.
Wow. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've been
So
sitting here slapping the shit out
make
of
sure
the
next time you buy one, the vape shop or wherever you go has a return policy, because within that 2 weeks, as long as you're not throwing it, dropping it, if you don't have any marks on it, they should be able to be like, okay, sure, we'll take it back, because they tend to buy them at wholesale,
Yeah.
and then they resell them, obviously. But some places don't, and they buy directly from the manufacturer. We don't. We buy wholesale, so that's why we're able to do our 2 week warranty.
That makes sense.
And so if they're buying directly from, they're just going to tell you if you do have any issues, you're just going to have to go through the company of the mod
That
at
makes
that point.
that actually.
Also, heads up, I'm sure you've also noticed your coils are going out a lot faster than they were about 6 months to a year ago.
Yep. Yep.
My theory is, and I've actually got to do research. I keep telling people I'm going to research it, but I just have not sat down to find the time to, or just give enough crap, because I've just been so busy and going for other customer service needs
Yeah.
that I haven't sat down. But I have noticed just from working in shop that a lot of the labels that you see for your vape juices are now going to say contains tobacco-free nicotine. What does that mean? Synthetic. And my theory is why I say that I haven't researched is I think that the FDA added another tax onto tobacco,
Yeah.
which is why these companies can't keep up, and for the cheap product they're already trying to make. So,
Oh boy.
and the coil makers and the respective coil makers have not seemed to catch up with the synthetic burnouts yet. So it's kind of like going back to 10 years ago where you were replacing coils every 2 weeks or less.
That's where I'm at right now. Like I used the whole 3 pack in less than a month and a half, and I'm just like, okay.
Zeus tank,
This is which one is it? This is Smog.
smock.
Yeah,
Okay.
SMOK. Yeah, I love their brand. I don't know why.
They're okay. I love their Vupu UL one, the drag. I love the drag, but it got to a point where it just leaks too much, and I don't like it. It's because it has the bottom pop in coil
Oh, really?
versus just it's better. I think it's better just to have the screw ins, but
That's
all
funny.
the new ones that everybody wants that are cheapos, it's always all the pop in coils, and everybody's like, "Is there any way I can stop the leaking?" You see,
The way,
no,
yeah, yeah, that's really what happened. Like the tank's fine. I know this mod is fucked though. I'm just gonna get another one tomorrow. Well, in the morning.
yeah,
They open up at 10 in the
and
morning.
usually you can get them at no more than like 70, $80 just for the mod.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Which
that.
usually when it has a tank is when it gets up to 100.
Yep. Yep.
We only sell one mod that has no tank attached.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
But my shop has moved to a very. Have you ever heard of Vapor Maven?
Yep. That's where I go.
Okay. Okay. I work for the only independent one in the nation.
Oh,
I
really?
actually have the CEO use our shop as a testing shop to get out to the other stores. Remember, you probably now have a product called Kratom in your store where you used to not have that maybe a year or two ago in the store.
I would have to look.
Yeah. It's a product that is used to help people that have had opioid addictions, or if you haven't had an opioid addiction, and it's because you don't want to be on opioids. Kratom comes from the opioid plant, but it's from the leaf, which is far less addicting, but
Okay.
it actually still does delude your pain and actually kind of gives that euphoric value. Like if you have depression from your pain, it actually is very uplifting.
Huh.
Yep.
And
It's an alternative, and it's to help people. It was originally to help people come down off of opioids and heroin.
oh,
Hmm.
yeah,
But now it is actually used. The amount of stories that I have personally been told, whether it was the addict's child or the addict themselves, that have told me that kratom literally saved them their lives. It stopped them from dying because they were so far on opioids. They were having at least one point of the day with their opioid concoction that they were given by their doctors, that they would at least have one point during the day where they did not know where the hell they were. And these are people that are not dementia, not Alzheimer's, none of that. They are just on so much pain medication that this pain medication also inhibits your brain functions. So kratom has been a lifesaver. I mean, I have my qualms about it because, I mean, yeah, you can still be addicted to it and replace it,
yeah,
because you're not going to have an overdose to it. You're just going to puke it up, unlike regular opioids where you can literally overdose. But I do have a lot of users who are very dependent on it at this point.
yeah,
And even when you've tried to tell them, hey, half your dosage down for a week, you need to put that tolerance down, they struggle to do it. And so, I mean, but at the same time, I'm also a vape shop. So, I mean, my original business is the fact that I'm getting people off trading cigarettes for vaping.
yeah,
So, I mean, at the same time, I'm really just a step down from the worst product to try to get you on the road to something of no usage, if possible. So I tell people, I mean, I joke and say I sell addictions
that's
because I also
funny.
sell Delta products.
Well, yeah, okay.
So yeah, the joke is I sell addictive products, or I sell addictions, but I on the real note I do sell alternative medicines because I sell CBD and Delta and kratom. I do consider an alternative medicine in comparison to opioids.
That's in Vapor Maven.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
My shop is trying to give up too much information,
Hmm.
but yeah, my shop is really the reason why a lot of the vapor mavens across the nation, and because it is based out of Oklahoma and I don't live there, but I do get to see the CEO, Mr. Herman, quite often. So I know him. The re- my boss is actually a family friend of him, which is why I'm able to work at a Vapor Maven by name, but operated very independently, where I
Okay.
get to do what I want. Yep.
Yeah. I'm with you now. I'm
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
trust and believe.
Which, again, because we run independently, we don't have to go off of corporate regulations and all those extra OSHA laws,
Yeah.
which also means we can test products and how well they're going to sell in other locations.
Yeah, because they really need to I don't know what happened, but they really need to bring a bunch of new flavors back.
I have noticed that my flavors at my location, we also buy from our own private wholesaler.
Oh, really?
So, yes, I do. The only thing that you're going to find in your Vapor Mavens that you will probably find, so your Kratom, you will find it should be Captain K and Project Mitra, and also just Kratom you're going to find in there. And they should have containers of Deltas in there, little Delta gummies that they have individual, and they should be like $1 a piece. They make those in house. So Vapor Maven used to make in-house juice. Now we make in-house Delta gummies since the FDA said that we can no longer make vape juice.
That's ridiculous. I don't know why they stopped that. I would think they would make
And
money from that.
you want to know why it also hurts the business?
Why?
Because corporate doesn't understand that vaping comes with accessories. If you notice, most of your Vapor Mavens or vape shops, if they are a corporate style, they
Yeah.
are not going to have accessories. Accessories count as, well, all those individual pieces you need. The only thing a Vapor Maven's going to keep is they're going to tell you either to buy a new device, you can replace your coil, That's
Mhm.
about it. But we don't have mouthpieces to replace the tank for the tanks. We don't have tank glass. They don't supply it anymore. And the only reason why my shop still has is because we're in a small town and we just didn't sell out of all the extra pieces when the FDA re-regulated the market.
Okay. No, that
Mhm.
that makes sense. That generally does make sense. I'm
Yep.
telling
If
you.
you're ever wondering why, because there was so much constriction to the tobacco and e-liquid industry. That is why your vape shops can't touch your vapes. We can't get into them. We can't unlock them. We can't check the wiring. You used to be able to get to do all that at a vape shop.
Oh, really?
Yes. We're no longer allowed to make coils because the only coils that are allowed out there, if you take your own safety into consideration, you can do it. But a business is not allowed to touch or make coils. They must be regulated coils from the
Oh,
brands and companies
yeah.
that
No,
have been again regulated by the FDA.
no, that's fair. I can understand that because if something happened, then I think don't y'all get liable for that?
We would be liable,
Yeah.
correct?
So just to avoid the whole
Don't make
fiasco,
your own coils anymore unless you know what you're doing and you actually have a testing kit. And that was the issue.
a
Is
lot of
people
people.
wouldn't buy the tester kits that literally have all the tools you need for it and also a thing to put it on to register your ohmage
Yeah.
and to test it out before you went into the battery and shorted and exploded a fucking battery.
Mm. And then the tank too, in some case.
Right, where a vape shop, we usually would either get one for free from one of the companies
Yeah.
or the CEO or whatever would put it into the funding that the shop would always have one available.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, it was because they were a mom and pop shop. And what it was really doing was trying to shut down the mom and pops that were skidding off of regulations, which I
Oh,
believe in the American dream. I hate that the FDA regulates everything because the fact is, the things that they say are bad for us, 9 times out of 10, aren't that bad because what we regulate and is okay to put in our bodies that the FDA says is okay, other countries say is fucking toxic waste that we're putting into our bodies.
wow.
So,
Yeah, it's so
yeah, dude,
different. It's so different.
it is.
It's better than smoking cigarettes though. What do you mean?
It is, but you want to know something really scary?
Was it?
The word is going to get me, and sorry, I know I sound so bad to be a vape shop clerk, but propylene glycine or whatever, which is the PG part of your vape juice,
Yeah.
you do know that was one of the chemicals that was spilled in Ohio and East Palestine,
Oh,
right?
no, I did not know that.
That is why you have to regulate your device because it is a glycerin oil, and people forget that that does catch fire. And when you have an oil fire, it's a little bit harder to put out, and it burns pretty bad.
Well, yeah, and it's thick too. That's the
Uh,
other thing.
People really forget about that. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, and that's why it's mixed with vegetable glycerin, is so that it doesn't cause what's happening over in Ohio is the burning eyes and burning lungs.
That actually makes sense now that I think about it. Because
Yep,
I had a dude who had that problem. He was like, man, for some reason he vape and he was like, man, this is bothering my eyes.
it does, and also for some people, I've even noticed some people say that they can't vape because it burns their throat.
Yeah, I've heard that plenty of times.
So if you're sensitive and more in tune with your body, that's why. I'm very in tune with my body, anyways. I just literally consciously ignore a lot of shit. I think I'm wrong. I've done cocaine. I knew what I was doing when I got into cocaine.
Yeah.
Want to know why? I research my drugs before I do them. And cocaine is a really good drug. It just costs too much.
See, see what I
It
mean?
really just costs too much. And the bloody nose isn't worth it if it's not pure. Just
That
saying.
that's true. Almost bust my shit. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Ta- Tazar, seriously, it's been a pleasure.
I know, man. It's been great. It's been great. Thank you for letting me talk about everything, man, and just kind of getting a lot off, especially since I'm not in the content world, man. Like, getting a lot of stuff off the chest, kind of getting my truth out, I guess, because it is just my truth. The real truth is what's actually the truth, man.
Yeah.
The facts are what facts are. I just have an opinion. That's who I am, just like every other human being. And I just appreciate you giving the space for people to be able to talk about it. And that's great. And I hope and I encourage and I not only encourage but I hope you get more of these talks going again because I think they need to be had. And I think everybody's kind of tired of the talking heads everywhere trying to dictate how we should all feel when there's people like me and you who are like, why? This is just nonsense. Let's just see how we can kind of have a cool conversation without feeling like we gotta ruin each other's livelihoods. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's so great. Like, oh boy, you have no idea. Like I said, there's a reason why when I came back on Twitter, I muted almost 10 to 20 words. Straight out the gate. Like, I don't want to deal with none of it. None of
I
it.
get it
Like,
because I caught myself. I almost because I said I'm not out here going to Hogwarts Legacy posts and coming after y'all. But the damn shit started pulling up in my for you, and I almost started talking, and I was like, nope. You said you weren't going after posts, Taylor. You just made your one comment, and that was it.
mm-hmm.
But Twitter's good like that. But always remember, don't always mute if you don't want to see it. That they give us all these tools, and that's what a lot of people also forget, man. They give us a
Yeah.
lot of tools, and I do not mind muting people. And it is very rare I hit them with a block. The block is just when I feel they may be so erratic that they could be a danger to me. Otherwise, mute usually does the job enough
Yeah.
because it's funny to go back and look and watch them yell into the void.
Mm, I might. You know what? I know what I need to do. I
Oh,
need.
you can't talk shit? Taking you an hour to respond? Nah, bitch, I muted you.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the conversation with yourself.
That'd be the funny ones too. And then
Oh, yeah. I say my piece and then I'm out. I
and
got shit to do.
that's pretty much what I do. That's pretty much what I do. I got one comment for you, your reply is either a question or a comment I can get behind, or at least you trying to get a decent conversation out of it. Otherwise,
Otherwise, we got things and other things to do. It's just a place to shout real quick. And if people just remember that, a place to just advertise.
mm-hmm.
But is it sort of a social square? I kind of got that.
Yeah.
But that's just still because I fall behind free speech. And I think both you and me agree, and I think the rest of us, we really broke it down to, I think we're just ready to have free speech back because we know we're Americans and we get that privilege.
Yeah. Like I want the conversations and everything else with people.
And that's got to come with free speech. And yes, does free speech come with someone saying something very asinine that everybody in the room may become uncomfortable? Yes.
At
You
times,
think
yeah.
Conway didn't make people uncomfortable and he said some asinine things? He did.
Yes, we
But
do.
guess what? What's really cool about free speech that I kind of enjoy is the people that want to say that shit and feel so proud about it, you now know who you can avoid or who to avoid or not to like be a part of your social group. And not everybody has to be a part of your social group. Holy Lord. I think that's one thing we got to remember.
But see, my thing is like now when it comes to that, my thing is like this. Like you can say that and that's fine, that's cool and everything, but if your social circle is still full of a bunch of yes men, you still have an echo chamber.
Oh, you do. You do. And that's why I've always tried to fight to be that friend. Like, my friends, I have a very small few amount. Why? Because I've told every single one of my friends, don't you dare ask me a question. Don't you dare complain to me unless you tell me you don't want a response and you just need a listener. You better tell me because if you don't want to hear from Taylor and how she feels about it and to give you the hard truth, don't come to me. Because I am that friend that will tell you, hey, that's a little fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I understand you were pissed off. I understand you were upset, but you did not have to respond to that. You could have been upset and maybe when you took a second to calm down, went back to that person,
Yeah.
etc. I am that person. I will call my
And
friends
see,
out in a heartbeat,
and
just
see,
like I want my friends to call me out.
that part right there. Like I don't mind if somebody comes tells me that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, why do you feel like that? Okay.
Yep.
Like
Let me know.
Angelic could do it. Angelic does it to me all the damn time. Like for real. She'd be like, I know you're gonna do what you want to do, but I'm coming to yell at you about XYZ. And you're
Yeah.
gonna sit here and you're gonna listen to me. Okay.
That's what I say. I've told my friend, she's at the end of her relationship. I said, I know you know where you're at. You know me. You know me. My advice is go ahead and end it and quit dragging it. But you're going to do what you want to do. And she's like, yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for this. And I said, that's totally up to you. That is your choice.
Yeah.
But just so you know, this is the better route and the less toxic route
Yeah.
and the more mature route. But if that's the route you want to choose, that's fine.
So
And I don't mind that. That's fine.
not everything has to be a scene.
It doesn't, man. Like, there's someone I shout out, and I'm just going to shout her out right now, and she does not agree with a lot of my opinions. Taylor Takedown. She's a streamer. She does it. She has a pride flag in the background of her stream. She is
Mhm.
bi. She is a huge ally to the community. I know she hasn't liked what I've had to say. But you know what? When we text and talk to each other, we're out here raising each other up. She'll say, and I'll say, hey, I don't know if you did read across my Twitter. I hope you know never to take any of this personally. She says, oh, no, I never do. Because she knows not to. We know we both have opinions. I
Mhm.
know that she is bi and she feels how she feels. And she knows how I feel. And
Yeah.
that's okay. Because at the end of the day, I don't hate her. And even if I'm sitting in her streams and she's talking about all this other stuff when it comes to her sexuality, that's fine. That's her space. She has an 18 plus community space.
Yeah.
If she was family friendly, I would be like, I'm not too big on that, man. Do you mind not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not her community. So I respect it. It's for adults only. And I can tell you right now, she does not agree with me on how I feel about a lot of stuff, about how I feel about feminism, how I feel about the LGBTQIA plus TI, whatever community at this point. I forgot. I've lost track of letters. Can we just please not be offended by calling you an alphabet community because you've added every single letter so much that you even added symbols? Give us a break, please.
Wait, they
It
added
takes,
a symbol?
yeah, LGBTQIA plus.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant another one other than that. Okay, never mind.
But I mean, like, I get the plus, but it's like, we all know you stopped adding letters because you knew it started getting ridiculous. That's why you added plus. So you could take up any more letters before you did get to the full 26 letter alphabet. I wish I was trying to tell a joke, but I'm just literally being honest. I hate it. It's such a bad, dry sense of humor. This is why people think I'm just an asshole. Maybe I am. Some of it is a joke. Some of it's kind of
Lord
real
have
feels.
mercy. Lord, Lord. You might get food. You might get fined for that one.
Because I said that they knew they were going to get to the 26 letters, so they went ahead and just did plus. Might as well just have rearranged it to the damn alphabet at that point. I mean, asexual's in there, so we start with A, we go to B, C stand for cis. Can I finally be a part of the community for cis? Wondering, asking for a friend, a straight cis friend.
Oh,
Sorry,
God, I
sorry.
can't.
I'm now being insensitive. I apologize.
Oh, I can't.
I had to get it off my chest.
I
We
can't.
all have a way and a form of how we release.
Oh boy. Oh boy. How long you been married to Cam?
Oh, honey, if you have ever heard him, everybody call us we're two peas in a pod when it comes to our humor. If anything, he's probably worse than me. I have a lot more culture than he does.
Mm-mm.
You got to watch him, and I have to remind him what TOS is a lot.
TOS does exist.
It sure does, but he is. I used to joke about being a small town Alabama girl.
Mm-hmm.
Where I live now in Missouri is a very small town, and bless my husband's little heart, but he is very, very rural area raising. Okay, I'm pretty sure he did go cow tipping, where I don't ever remember going up around any cows in Alabama.
Mm.
And funny enough, guys, if you're wondering how we met through Instagram back in the days when Instagram had a gaming community.
Really?
Yeah, we met through gaming Instagram.
Wow.
Hmm.
I forget Instagram got a gaming part on them. I'm not even like,
Well, you just hashtag gaming, stuff like that, and you kind of found each other through that. There was always that follow for follow, shout out for shout out.
yeah.
When people started getting on Mixer or Twitch, you would just post about it, be like, come follow and watch, and you know, it was just kind of back then during that, and it was who had the best pictures with their setups, before I guess before I got involved in Twitter. Twitter was just more chaos. But it was funny because like how like there's a big thing about the e-girls now, and it's actually still a conversation. I remember back on like gaming Twitter, like that was a thing. Like people started getting pissed off at females posting gamer girl pictures
Yeah.
and talking about getting on her Xbox but taking a picture with a PlayStation controller.
Wow.
So like that's been a thing for a very long time. It's not anything new just because Amaroth got in a tub full of water and played Spyro. Like it's nothing new.
Mm-mm. You said
It's
that ain't.
just it finally hit the live stream community and the big boys and girls.
But I really did not know they was starting a whole boyfriend application
Yes.
thing.
I don't know if it's still the thing. I just couldn't watch it because I was like, I'm not going to fill my head with OnlyFans girls who do live streaming and also getting more money and more notoriety from thirsty guys on the internet who finally think they have a chance. When before they're like, she's just hot. I get to watch her. And now it's
Someone,
like,
someone finally.
I might get to touch her. It's so bad. So bad. I'm sure get some free time. Yeah.
But I
Check
mean,
out Amaroth boyfriend applications. I'm sure it will not be hard to find.
oh God, I can't.
Yeah, some videos of the guys who got scrolled past. I think Deller. Do you know who Deller is? The big rager. He actually got banned off Twitch for self harm because he would break his keyboard over his head in rage fits.
I know who that is.
Yes. So he made a video because he put in an application and she was like, oh, gamer. And then like someone only clipped it. And he's like, yes, you retweeted it. And he was like, and then someone said, oh, no, man, you didn't see that. She said, no, she swiped hard left on your ass when she saw you were a gamer, a professional gamer.
Wow.
Yes. So she's literally doing her normal attire that she
Uh-huh.
likes to do.
Uh-huh.
Um, and within her scenery that she enjoys. And she's, of course, bit down from time to time and scrolling through the applications and pictures and the links of these guys who are putting themselves out there. Because whether it's maybe a chance at a validity, it's also a chance that you get new audience members for your cringe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Wow.
a win win, I guess. Again,
I don't
she's
know.
smart. She's smart.
I might have to talk to LG and be like, hey, let's do a girlfriend application thing. I told the God, I would do it
Do it, dude.
I
Do
would
it
do
to
it.
all these girls. Help them. I mean, you're just going to help their content so nobody can tell you that you're a hater for these girls on Twitch anymore.
I've actually never been called a hater from women. I've never had as many comments that I am given for and against women. I've never actually been called a woman hater. Never have,
Good.
which is weird.
I I've been called a pick me girl. I
I know you have. I've been called a lot of things. A woman hater has never been associated with me.
I apparently hate my own biology. So what do you want from me, dude?
I don't even want to know how that even
I hate women so
works.
much, even though I'm a woman.
Cam has Solid Worlds, right?
Yes, and he has it on the PlayStation, so I'm gonna have to also play it on the PlayStation as well, since they get an exclusive quest line.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I heard a lot of
I
people
made a
are
tweet about that, and I'm in agreement with a friend of mine because he's gonna try to get a refund on it, and I'm like, I mean, the strategy for that, I mean, the marketing for that was great. Like for COD, it really boosted sales, but now like games that are not like that, you shouldn't
Mhm.
hold out a quest line like that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just silly. I mean, how would people who had Dark Souls imagine if Dark Souls had a certain quest line
Yep.
that you didn't have access to unless you were on PlayStation?
Yeah.
That would have been people would have been pissed. But you know this is going to get looked over because we don't care about that. It's because it's the game that should not be named.
Yeah.
Must not be named.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not going to get any attention,
W-
and I hate it because what I'm really afraid of for Hogwarts is the potential of the game to have multiplayer, and I get because of the project being so long. And I'm telling you, the game is great. It took me roughly around 40 hours side quest. I didn't finish everything for a 100% run,
Mhm.
and I still felt like I got a lot of the game and still felt okay to maybe do a second run out of another house. And you theoretically want to do all four, but
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been nicer if they would have added a few extra for extra house things for missions that were maybe just house exclusive missions. But I see that could be a DLC in the future as well, because this is just baseline game. So I can actually see that
Yeah.
being DLCs being missions oriented around houses for like a next year or something. And then I also see it would be great for multiplayer 1v1 or 2v2 duels in the game. That would be great. They have such potential, but I'm so afraid that this whole freaking backlash from the trans community is going to scare off these devs to want to touch this game again. That we may not even get DLC. We may not get anything out of this game besides what was just made and released and what's just there.
I doubt it because I've seen how
I mean, I'm
the
hoping the
devs
sales records change their tone
the
and they don't pay attention to that and they say, fuck it, just like fucking Dave Chappelle, this Twitter ain't a real fucking place. And the sales and the money and the bank speak louder than what the fuckers on Twitter were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. And you're right. You're right. That's the thing. And see that, and that's the crazy thing. I need to sit down one day, and that's why I was asking if Cam actually had the game because I need to sit down one day. I'm actually on the second movie. I watched the first one at work. I need to actually watch all the movies.
They're great. One of the very few book series turned into a movie that you will ever get so much detail
Hmm.
also in the movie. No other movie franchise or book franchise that have been combined have been able to do it. And I'd like to remind people that as cool as that is, um, they still left out a lot that were in the books.
Really?
And there was some detail that as a reader, you would have loved to see in the books, but as you watch the movie and how long you're going as the story progresses,
Hmm.
you'll understand that what you found important in the reading visually wasn't very important, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Unlike other books, I'm going to use this one because this one tore me to pieces because I spent a lot of my college time in finding people who had the book so I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games series.
See, I've never seen the movie.
Don't just read the series. I'm serious. The series, or read the book. The movies are awful. They completely. You could tell it's like the writer, director, or whatever. They read the books and then made sort of their adaptation of it.
Oh, okay. So instead of going by the books, they just decided they're gonna do their own story on it.
And it does have similarities, but they really kind of took their own independence with some of the um, descriptions and kind of how the story moved along. They really didn't know how to portray that well visually. And I think it was one of those that if they would have spent more time and maybe would have tried to get more funding for it,
Yeah.
it would have been better. But I also understand not everyone can drive the revenue that the Harry Potter books did. I mean, that book became a global phenomenon. I mean, you had people that were waiting for fourth year, just for fourth
I heard
year.
about that.
Remember, I mean, we were all waiting for the Goblet of Fire for a long time, man. I remember that. And I remember even after that, like my hype for the Harry Potter series had died down because I was waiting so long for the books. And at that point, you know, I read up to book 4 and I was old enough and reading other stories that I gotten out of it. But getting back into it, J.K. Rowling is such a good writer in the fact that I even now I know I can go back and read her and like her because she writes at a level that feels natural. It doesn't feel like they were trying to be extra intelligent as they wrote. Um, and I kind of hate that with a lot of people in their writing. I don't like it when um, you try to sound overly smart and you're writing a book for kids. Like Harry Potter is really good at being simplistic, but also nabbing
Negative.
that imagination that both child and adults can have.
So they know how to grab the right target audience for their work.
Yes, and J.K. Rowling is great about that. They hate to separate that. You know, I watched a YouTube video of her after she had finished writing book 2,
Yeah.
she was working on book 3 and I was watching this interview of her. This was in it would have been in 98, I think.
Okay, see, I didn't know Harry Potter was that damn old.
Yes, did you know that Harry Potter's birthday is actually, I think it's July 30th, 1980?
I didn't know that. I
Harry
really
Potter is older than I am by 2 years.
like I
He's
didn't
my,
like I knew like when I got Hogwarts Legacy, like I knew absolutely zero about Harry Potter other than the fact
and
that
that's okay.
J.K.
Want to know why?
Why?
You don't have to know anything about Harry Potter for Hogwarts Legacy because it is not J.K. Rowling's story.
Yeah.
It is their story using the world and universe that she created through Harry Potter. Now, are there tomes to Harry Potter? Yes.
Mhm.
But the lore is things that were in Harry Potter that existed in the old wizarding world, and it was basically lore,
It's
just like any other story has a backstory that you don't get into for the current story that you're in, but they make references to the old days and old
yeah.
times. For example,
Mm.
you're going to see a reference to the Deathly Hallows in Hogwarts Legacy. The Deathly Hallows is used in Harry Potter. When you get to that in the movies and you find out what that is, because I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I am a very good person in that because I enjoy the stories.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. I'm also not going to give you any spoilers because
Hmm.
I was playing with friends right along with me in a headset, playing along with them, and they were asking me questions, and I was like, I mean, I can help you with a puzzle, but as far as everything else, you know, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Because
You know what I
I'm
mean?
still at the very beginning. Like I'm level
Yeah.
14 and I just got to where I'm at. There's a second skill he cat Professor he cat hey cat has to teach me. Like I'm right there right
Yep.
now.
Okay. So yeah, you're still at the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, during one of your quest lines, you're gonna actually be retold the story of the Deathly Hollows. So if you haven't gotten to the Deathly Hollows in the movie series, don't worry about it because it's retold essentially. Also, when you're collecting your field guides, a lot of the lore and things like that around Hogwarts and the surrounding areas
Yeah.
that may have had lore from Harry Potter, it is actually in there. And some of it is new lore that is either that they had made or something that was referenced from the books. And it was because even though Harry Potter took place in the 90s and early 2000s,
Yeah.
book wise timeline, not real life timeline, because it was more like the early 2000s that we were all getting the movies and books.
Yes.
But the timeline of the story, of course, is in that timeline. So 1990s, and Hogwarts Legacy is taking place in 1870 in the 1870s.
I
So
love
you're literally about a whole 120 years prior to Harry Potter. You're also, during this time period, even big characters from Harry Potter, such as Dumbledore. Dumbledore would also either be a child at this time, or actually, I think I remember looking up the time of Hogwarts Legacy. Dumbledore has not been born yet. It's about 10 years before his even birth, before he's even a babe into the world.
Mm.
So
Mm-mm.
no characters except for maybe like Harry Potter. They did reference at some point Phineas Nigelius Black, who is your headmaster. It was talked about when it was talked about in the Black family. When I want to say either Prisoner of Azkaban or so later. Uh, it actually would have been later when we meet back up with Sirius in the Harry Potter series. Um, he's talking about his family lineage,
Mm.
and you actually see the name on the wall. So obviously, and he was also referenced in another time about being such a terrible headmaster and so self-serving. So that's the only reason
I
why I
get
think
that.
he became a headmaster
I get
as
that
far as his
vibe from
storyline
him.
goes.
I get that vibe from him. I get that vibe from him. Like
Right.
something.
So
Oh boy. Yeah.
yes, and I mean, I know that was already out in the open, and plus, even if you saw any of the trailers, you already kind of see your headmaster is not really the nicest person. He makes some pretty offhand comments quite often.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
you'll enjoy that. But otherwise, you the only things you're going to hear of maybe that you heard in Harry Potter was like Rowena Ravenclaw, Godric Gryffindor, all the names of the house. We're just stopped. People who started the houses and what the houses were based off of.
okay.
The four wizards and yeah, wizards and witches that made Hogwarts. And you'll of course you get that because that's part of lore. That's the universe, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so Hogwarts Legacy literally has nothing to do with Harry Potter. If you're a Harry Potter fan, then you're literally just going to find some really cool things that were some Easter eggs that you felt that you remember from the books. Otherwise, no, a
Yeah.
totally different new story, nothing that's mentioned in Harry Potter, which is why they're able to make the story they did.
Yeah.
And
Lord.
it's good. It's
Yeah.
actually good. The
wi-
side quests were actually really good. The relationship side quests, good. I think they did well on them. Were they sort of tedious? I mean, sure, for a game, it's a game and it's supposed to be for any age to play it, you know? And so, and by the way, spoiler alert, you can play it on story mode. There is no achievement playing it on hard mode. So, unless you just want the challenge, which that's another complaint I sort of have. I
What do you
think you should have no achievements for doing it on hard mode. You
oh
have hard mode, normal, easy, and story mode.
I'm gonna say this again. All they did was change very easy to story mode. That's pretty much what
Well, they did. Sorry, what?
they just replaced very easy and just put story mode on there. That's all they did.
Yeah, because very easy was apparently demeaning because we get too offended.
Oh God.
Because I will still never understand when people. I never played the Dark Souls series because I knew from every review that it was a very freaking hard combat game.
Yeah.
So I suck at combat games, so I was like, huh, probably Dark Souls isn't for me.
Wait a
When I
minute.
heard like,
Wait. Hold on here. You say you do bad at combat games, but you're
yes,
perfectly okay and excel at shooting people, blowing them up, and everything
hmm
else.
hmm
Okay.
yeah, I'm talking like hand to hand combat games, like stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a
Yeah,
minute. Yeah.
like I like in any like in League of Legends, you'll never see me being a top laner because I hate melee. I like to have a little bit of range between me and somebody else. Kind of like in real life, as a female, I've never been okay with carrying a pocket knife because I always found it very silly why I'd let somebody get that close to me,
Yeah.
which is why a gun always made more sense to me.
No, that's actually fair. I actually understand that. Like, fuck that. You're in my personal space. Why?
If you're close enough for me to hit you with a knife, I think you've already made it too close to put my life in danger.
Yeah. No, that actually makes sense. I understand that.
So
At that point,
I
might as well
so I
shoot
guess
anything.
personality wise, I just don't understand really close up hand to hand combat very well. So playing it in a game is very difficult.
No, that's fair.
Not gonna lie,
That's
I suck
fair.
at it. When what was it, Rise, or any of that other stuff, what they came out with when the Xbox One came out, the very first one, that Gladiator game or whatever.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Oh yeah, and all those other games, I was like, guess I'm gonna be sticking to the old console till we get a shooter.
But
And League of Legends, funny enough, I either play mid or support, and the supports I play are never a melee support, and those are the best supports. Liana for the win.
Leona's
There's what?
melee though.
Huh?
Leona's
Oh,
melee though.
Leona,
Yeah.
the shield bitch.
Yeah.
Unless she's changed, they must have changed her. No, she's a support,
No, she's a support,
kind of
but I'm
like
saying,
Rom.
but she's. Oh, you're saying she's ranged because she can. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with
No,
you.
I don't play her. Like she's one of the very few that I can play ish because she does have range, but not range. Kind
Yeah,
of like with Thresh,
yeah.
you kind of have range, but even though it's a melee in a sense, it's just a long melee.
I, I, I,
But
I'm with
but the hook mechanics,
you. Yeah,
that's about the only time I like to get close.
yeah.
But yeah, that's otherwise that's it.
Okay, I'm with you now. Because I'm
But
like,
if I got a 1v1 and we just gotta slap each other, I'm not gonna have a fun time. just constantly just because that's what I feel like. I swear, when I watch top lane fights, it just the tortilla challenge where you slap people with fucking tortillas. That's
yeah.
what it fucking feels like, man. Who's gonna laugh and die first? Just the whole game on top lane is dependent on who dies first.
That's
I
funny.
know you're enough friends with Deller, and I think you play enough League to know this yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was actually playing AURF earlier. Probably gonna play it tonight again. Oh,
Damn,
God damn this fucking chair.
you didn't buy a new one. Just get you a regular fucking chair, dude.
I actually plan to, but I got to get another monitor first. My fucking 50.
Damn.
Yeah, my 50 inch went out. I got to get another monitor. I'm gonna get
Oh
one.
no.
I'm just looking for one that's more within the current price range that I'm willing to spend on one. Be honest. Dead serious.
Low end starts at 250.
That is true.
Yeah. And that's without 4K ability and still staying at like 1080 with maybe you can probably still get 1 millisecond or lower, but man,
This guy's
you are.
is that 6075 though?
Mm, it depends, man. I haven't really been shopping for them in so while, and it's such a long while because I was like, man, because during the time I went shopping for them originally, they were very expensive because pandemic.
Yeah.
Now and then the last time I was okay to kind of be like, oh, I might be able to buy one. It was Christmas time, and so all the decent ones were already boop,
Oh, totally. I believe.
and I had a good price on it. So it's like I'm just waiting for overstock for summer to hit. You know what I mean?
Mm,
When all
I'm
that stuff is out in the woods because no one's buying for the school year yet. It's not till the end of the summer. So while they're nice and big cheapies,
yeah, that's true.
so I keep an eye on a Newegg to see what got, because it should be most items that were bought for Christmas should be about return now, and most people should be on overstocks now. So you might want to check some of those sites and see if you got any drops.
That's true. Very true. Cause I might just get another 32 and just call it a day. But I gotta make sure it's at least um
Oh, now that I've had like a, this is, yeah, now that this is actually 28 that I'm on.
oh really?
I have very small monitors. Yeah, I'll actually give you a little preview.
Let me see.
Literally all I'm working with.
Shoot,
And then that's just some random lights.
you
That's a
could
ring light that doesn't even work that well. And then these I just found somewhere and just taped them up.
you could fit one more monitor.
I want to get a smaller desk because this is starting to lose a little bit of room, but it's way too heavy as well.
You literally just cut your own mic.
I did when I hit it. I
There,
hit the top mute button. Yeah,
you have a top mute button?
it's the Wave 3.
Oh, okay.
It's been a little weird. I need to research it a little bit more. So I don't know how it sounded, if it sounded good tonight or whatnot. I just tried to get it up and going for my voice because my husband has a lower voice and it sucks because we use the same setup.
Yeah.
So whatever mic settings I would use for my stream did not work the same for him.
Look up because I use this. You look up Chris KRISP. They have a monthly thing that helps with like noise reduction stuff like that. The shit's it's bloody awesome. Like I'm using it right
I'll have to.
now. That's why it sounds like even with this mic, like I'm not. You don't get anything. Even when I'm doing auditions, stuff like that, I can play music straight out of my monitor and it won't even pick it up while I'm doing
That's
it.
nice.
Like it's like totally chill mode because I try to play like a lot of lofi and stuff like that just so I can get into the zone, stuff like that. But it's cool. It
Yeah,
really.
because I can do some with this. Like I have noise removal. Um, let's see,
Cause see,
room echo
I'm
removal, which can sometimes like just lock me up. So why is this locked? Oh,
like the most I use, but I got a mixer too. Yeah, I just remember that I got a mixer too.
yeah, you also get a mixer where, yeah, I have to do most of mine digital. I remember having like a really fucking cheap, before I got the quad mic, I had a cheap mic and someone said, "What is your mic?" And I was like, I told them what it was in chat. They looked it up. They said, "Are you fucking seriously getting that kind of mic quality out of a fucking $30 USB mic?" I was like, OBS has some really cool filters, bro. If you
Yeah,
know how to use them.
no, I believe it. I
I
believe
have, dude, I am the cheapo budget bitch when it comes to getting these setups, dude.
it.
I really am because, like I said, I mean, I tell people this all the time. I did not spend a lot of money, and I've been complimented on some of my quality that I've been able to put out. Is there some days where it goes out of whack? Absolutely. That's technology, that's updates. Um, but at the same time, it's just like gaming has been my hobby for such a long time. I have always found a way that my hobby doesn't outweigh my expenses because that just doesn't make any sense in any adult reality.
No, and you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, if you got to go on a budget, go on a budget. And because technology has moved so much, you'd be so surprised. I mean, that's why I mentioned the AI and the deep fake stuff. The fact that we have this technology that is software, like physical items in the streaming space, is going away slowly but surely, and people are not understanding it. I mean, hell, next fun thing you're going to have talking about, because I can't wait till one explodes and does something insane. You've seen the AI streamers
Yeah. Hmm.
that actually respond to chat?
Yeah. Yeah. I seen it. I had heard about it while I was
So,
at work, and I gave it a look. I'm like, wow.
mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie. If streamers don't think that affects them, tell them to go to Walmart next time and see how many cashiers are there in comparison to self checkout.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Twitch is about to look like.
But how would Twitch make money though? That would be my question.
The same way they do off all the regular streamers, dude. I mean, people are still gonna sub. They're still gonna pay bits. That's how they make their revenue, and then the rest is just ads. Hell, did you not keep up with what was happening last month or the month before, finding out that Twitch is paying streamers to run insanely lengthy ads so that they can make up their ad revenue?
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. I didn't get off for it, but I did hear about it. I forgot all about that.
And go get your bag if that's going to happen. But the ones that did it, I can guarantee their viewership dropped. It at least dropped by 10%, and their subs probably increased by about 15%, which is why it's that 5% is going to outweigh the 10% loss to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus the bag that they got for the contract of running those ads. That 10% don't mean shit to them. They just got that 10% back from the contract.
Yeah. You're right. Because
Again,
I've seen a couple of them. They's giving them $500-600 a week.
yeah, did you see some of them getting like 7 grand a month
Yeah.
just to run ads? Some bitches can't even make that in subs. And then they have the audacity to try to say that they would start taking revenue when back at 50-50 when some of these partners got above a certain amount. Fuck right off. I don't care if they were a legacy partner or the new partner, as long as you keep 75 people viewing, you get partnership. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Which in and of itself, I hate to say, because like that's why I kind of laugh when people are like, "Oh my god, why does all these affiliates get all of these emote slots?"
Of all the things you could complain about, emo slots.
That's what I'm saying.
Of all
That's
the
the one, not the fact that you're getting ripped for 50% of your income from your audience because you're using Twitch online services to do your platform versus trying to get your audience to go straight to your PayPal, Cash App, or anywhere else.
Yep. Yep. And I even said that.
Have you ever imagined that if you changed your Dono link to your Cash App or your PayPal and they'd go directly to that, avoiding a lot of fees?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, these kids are doing it so wrong, and then they want to bitch about it.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't.
Like, I try to encourage everybody. Like in Taylor Takedown, the girl I'm talking about, she actually has an uncle or something that's an accountant. The reason why she's never owing, guess what? She learned the game because she's been doing it long enough. She didn't want to go back to waiting tables.
Yeah.
Guess what? She has an uncle. She found someone to account for her, and she does her accounting for streaming quarterly. So she doesn't owe a big sum. Imagine if some streamers did that.
Shoot.
Instead of being like, oh shit, I owe $10,000 to the fucking government.
That's the last thing you want to. Wow. That's a lot of money to owe.
Yeah, most of them owe like 5 grand. I'm like, how the fuck? They're paying me 5 grand. They got the wrong motherfucker. Bitch, no taxation representation. And trust, on a personal note, dude, we get
Yep.
property taxes in Missouri. Dumb as fuck.
How bad is
You
it?
can have a, dude, your car can be paid off, but because you have a car that you have to put a tag on it,
Yeah.
they assess it unless you get it notarized for a certain amount. They will assess it. So my beat up piece of shit catalytic converter missing son of a bitch Kia Soul, they assessed it for $2,200, which made me have to pay $109 or something like that, or 120 something dollars for taxes for it, for
That,
property tax by the end of the year.
yeah. That's silly. That is freaking wow.
Paid off, did not owe any money on it,
Yeah.
paid off, but I still have to pay taxes on it, even though I paid a state tax when it was bought.
Yeah, that's silly. No. Ain't no way.
Oh, yeah, way. I get really pissed. And then when I saw the breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
over 30% in comparison to like 2, 5, 6%, maybe at the highest of 9 and 10%, the schools here got 30% of that I owed to the state for property taxes.
Yeah. For something you paid
My
off.
local, yeah, my local, I said, I'm sorry. I'm about to get involved because if these bitches ain't ready to go to Harvard and Yale on graduation with 30% out of the property taxes, what the fuck are we doing?
That's a real
I
question.
don't want to take money away from kids, but if these kids are more concerned about, I don't know, gender identity, if they're a furry, if they have zero work ethic, don't even know what the importance of July 4th is, I don't know why I'm giving them 30% of something I've already fucking paid for.
Yeah, it's like you're double paying. And
No,
I get that.
that's so dumb. And my mom and dad, because I've been complaining about stuff since I've moved to this small town, and my mother was on town council back in our hometown, and she's like, Taylor, you don't want to get involved, and you know you don't. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then I complained about that, and they're like, go, just go run for it.
Wow, wow,
Just
wow.
go run for town council, Taylor. You're over it. You know you are. And I'm like, yeah. But
But
these are
why?
like old school country folk out here, and it's like if I don't have a family out here and they don't know me and know my name, it's not gonna mean a damn to even try. You know what I mean?
Clearly, yeah.
It's
I,
one of those small towns.
oh boy. Okay.
That and I don't speak enough Spanish.
I mean, I mean, that's going to happen unless you want to learn it and everything else.
People can take that as they will, but what people don't understand is my town is very split, just about even between Caucasian and Latino.
Yeah.
And I say Latino because we have every type of Latino. The majority is Mexican just because we're in the Midwest,
Yeah.
but we have Guatemalans, we have Hondurans, we have a lot. It's insane. So to me, because I've never had that big of a population of one race,
Oh,
even white people. Funny enough, I've never until here. I've never really been in that one specific of an
atmosphere.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's totally weird. And most people, with my accent, my Alabama accent that comes out, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're lying." I'm like, "No." I kind of thought I was gonna get blinded by how fucking pale and bright this town was when I got here.
What made y'all move there anyway?
My husband,
Oh, okay. Oh, you
he's
moved in with him.
hmm
Oh, see, I
I
always
was
thought y'all
see,
were.
I was a traveler. I was a traveler. He's the one who likes to. He's more of the homebody.
Okay. Now it's thinking. See, I always thought y'all just lived together in general. I
Mhm.
didn't know y'all. Okay. Now it's making sense. Okay.
Yep. while I was traveling in the United States, and we were getting to talking. And after I was done with the job in Colorado, I said, "Well, you want to give this a try and us move in versus just keeping this long distance?" And where we've been. So
Works
I'm
for
saying
me.
it worked out,
Yeah, that's good.
and it's been great. I mean, I've seen him grow in our relationship. It's been awesome to, even with the experiences, and I thought I was small town, just, and I've always said I enjoy the small things in life
Hmm.
because those are the things that make the bigger impacts. Because the small things are what make the big things not hurt so bad.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I enjoy them. And he, I thought I enjoyed the little things until him. And because I'm trying to say this without sounding so offensive. I know that sounds bad, but it's like I am a very simplistic person, but he helped me break some things in life down a little bit more simply to where, I don't know, life became less anxious when around him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
it makes
he
sense.
just helped me kind of, and my parents call us like a great yin and yang. We're each other's black and white, each other's calm to when each other's in a storm. It's how we work, man. He's my grounding when I'm in chaos and vice versa. When I'm up in an upheaval, I'm usually somewhere in a mental level where I'm grounded and I'm in a good spot to be like, all right, babe, let's reevaluate. Let's going on,
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
So
Makes a lot of
it's
sense.
great.
I believe it. Well, I mean, anybody
It
with
doesn't
a
come without its
brain,
challenges, I'll tell you that.
huh?
Because it doesn't come without its challenges. And thank you, Izzy, for shaking near me earlier and getting a hair directly in the eyeball. Sorry, that's what got me this time. Jesus, don't live with animals
Mm, mm, mm,
in
mm.
a two-bedroom apartment and then try to wear non-hypoallergenic mascara to appear on a friend's podcast and show. So
Taser, where these people can find you at?
you can find me everywhere at TayzerGG, TayzerGG. That's where you're going to find me everywhere. Even if I don't use some of the socials, but mainly on Twitter is where I like to make all my messes these days. So if you want to follow some quite questionable content and me questioning a lot of things about the clown world that we're in, that's exactly where you can find me.
Yeah. Y'all, thank y'all for real.
Thank you.
Another great session. Nah,
Awesome session.
they thank you. Seriously, seriously.
No, it's been great. It's been great. Like I said, I hope these continue, and I hope whoever comes up here next, just know this is an awesome place to have a conversation. Our man here is absolutely set to be
Oh,
here for us to speak our what we've been trying to hold in, man. And it's great. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening to what I've had to say. And obviously, I'm here for the conversations. If you want to have more, please hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are always open. I seriously mean that. I'm not like these other crazies. I really do mean if you need to hit me up, got some questions about stuff, want a true opinion, bluntness, I got you. I'm here. If you just need a break from the insanity and want to go back to what feels real, I got you. I really don't mind having these conversations because I like to feel grounded again too and put my toes in the sand and ass in the water. I don't know how that country song goes because I hate it, but
I'm through talking.
no need to stress. Life's too short, man. And when you get to 30, you realize that. And now I would rather worry about the nuclear fallout we're coming towards.
But you see how she's still making me feel old, y'all. The takeaway from this, like she said,
Don't get old.
don't
I'm sorry. I was just
don't don't say your DMs are open and then don't respond.
Yeah,
But
don't do that.
yeah,
Don't do that.
don't do
I
that.
always respond to everybody, and I am also the very honest person. And if you get mad at me because I'm like, hey, I'm at work and I can't collect these thoughts right now, that's more of an F you to yourself. because I'm going to respect your time. I hope you can respect mine because we all out here chasing the bag, making life happen because that's what's okay about it. All right. Seriously, last thought for me. Seriously, guys, life is awesome. We are all out here doing this journey. We are all out here. We all have bills. We all have problems. Okay. That does not make us different no matter what the skin color is, no matter what our background is, no matter what our culture is. That's what it's all about. The human race, we're here together to get to the end of it and try to help each other out along the way. And that even means having some adversity and some tension because that's good. Because we need to question the things that don't make us feel okay.
Mm, that's true. Because I question Twitter all the damn time.
Mm-hmm. These things we hear about. Someone were to come up to me and be like, hey, kids are really cool to be friends with, even though I'm 56 years old. Are you babysitting them or like question things? Start questioning because we're letting too many things go without a question.
That is true. That is 100% true. No joke. Y'all take care of each other. Stay out of bad trouble. Out of here, y'all. Later, later.
Bye.